want to continue to share on your side,
I'll
that's
share
totally
it.
fine. Oh, you're ready to share on your end? That's totally cool.
Yeah, I
So I'll
believe
just
so.
do a quick thank you so much, Plain Reality, for your good.
Yeah, I'm not dying. Get out not dying. We're dancing in the street. There's nothing left to eat. We're on a winning streak, going out in style. Yeah, I hear you. I'm not dead yet. Get out of here. Yeah. Bring out the hand grenades. You know it's time to pay. Explosions to the brain. Going out in style.
Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, I'm not. No, yeah, everything's okay. It's just if I got to watch this debate between Brian and Plain Reality and Ruhif, someone else is going to be in pain with me. So share my pain. So we're a little behind. We're about 25 minutes behind. Let's get up to where they start. So I'm starting a little late. I meant to catch it live, but I
Good
didn't
evening, everybody, and welcome to Modern Day
because I'm a shithead.
Debate. Tonight we're going to be debating: is the Earth flat or is it a globe?
Damn, my
And to get us
camera's
started
really
out
blown
here,
out,
we have
isn't it?
Ruhif back on Modern Day Debate. Thank you so much for being here, and the opening floor
let's
is
turn it on
yours.
Thank you, Ryan.
Make it
All right, so
warm.
my main thesis for this whole debate
There we go.
is that flurfs wouldn't know curvature if it bit them on the dick. So in the white box there, hopefully Ryan's sharing my
I always say they wouldn't know they wouldn't know such and such if it walked up and slapped the dicks out of their mouth.
screen. There's an email there that I sent to both Brian and Plain Reality, asking them a couple of questions to
Punched in the junk. That's a funny sounding word.
get an idea of whether they would know what curvature looks like if they saw it. And that's two parts. One is the drop over distance. So I'm sure you've heard, 8 inches per mile squared of drop. How do we go about measuring that if it's there? And second, bottom up obstruction. I would like some geometry from Brian and Plain Reality as to why or how things could possibly be obstructed bottom up on a flat Earth. So I've given them a specific question. If I'm at 1,093 feet above sea level, looking 165 miles across the Canigou, how many feet of the mountain should be hidden if the Earth is flat, and how
What the hell is Brian doing?
many should be hidden if the Earth is a globe. And then the bottom it says, if you don't have answers for either of these in the debate, prepare for a
The
bollocking.
fuck is he doing?
And this email was
Is he on like a Peloton?
sent 4 days ago, and I'll make a prediction that I will not get answers to either of these questions during the debate. All right, so how do we go about measuring the 8 inches per mile squared? Here is an example or a scenario where we're on a flat Earth, we're on a 5,000 foot mountain, and we're pointing our theodolite across to another 5,000 foot mountain that is 30 miles away. On a flat Earth, and if we ignore refraction just for now, what is the predicted angle that
Oh, am I blocking Brian? Yeah, it was so weird, man. We get back to where we are.
Debating is the Earth flat or is it a globe? And to get us started out here, we
looks
have
like he's on a
Soback,
stationary
Modern
bike.
Day Debate. Thank you so much for being.
It looks like he's on a stationary bike. Watch him.
Thank you, Ryan. All right, so
What the hell, Brian?
there's an email there that I sent to both scenario where we're on
Getting your legs in?
1,000 foot mountain, and we're pointing our theodolite across to another 5,000 foot mountain that is 30 miles away. On a flat Earth, and if we ignore refraction just for now, what is the predicted angle that you'll measure? And that's pretty simple. You're on a flat plane. It's going to be 0 degrees, perfectly.
I'm learning how to I'm watching some videos on how to design an electric guitar body and neck and headstock in Fusion 360. How to use lofts and sweeps and stuff like that to design your own guitar. So that's really helping. Like I could do the shape of a guitar, extrude it and put a chamfer around the whole thing, but that looks really shitty. You need hey George, you need the belly, the belly cut out. You need the arm cut out, in the back, in the bottom left of a Stratocaster. You'll always have that drop that like it's been sanded down, that bottom left corner. That's because your arm hits it at that point, and you don't want a sharp corner sticking in your arm. You want a nice smooth area. So I'm learning how to do that. So once I get the CNC built, I can put a slab of wood on there and cut it out, because as I'm learning, I'm saving files and saving them as CNC G code, so I can get started right away.
Horizontal. That's pretty easy. But if we're on a
Oh, hey, West Side Girl.
globe that curves away at 8 inches per mile squared, again, ignoring refraction, then that mountain should have dropped 600 feet from your horizontal. So that's 8 inches times 30 miles squared, which is 900. So that equals 600 feet. And we can do some simple trigonometry with the tan function to work out what that angle should be on a globe, ignoring refraction.
Rohif looks like a chicken. He does. His nose is real thin and long, and from this angle, with the shadow, it looks like a beak.
But if we include refraction, we have to
Now you can't unsee it.
include the typical empirically measured refractive gradient of the atmosphere, and that bends the light downwards. So it's more dense at the surface, less dense higher up, which bends it downwards. And because it bends it down, it lifts the apparent position of objects. And that amount of lift is around about 1/7 that of the effective Earth curvature. So instead of looking for 600 feet, we should expect to measure around 514 feet. And that's the angle we expect to measure on a globe. So we've got two predictions made by each model. Let's go out and test them and see which one matches reality. I've done that stacks of times. I've made dozens, if not hundreds, of these measurements. And as long as you are well
Epic doing it fucking properly.
above the surface, away from the unstable density gradient very close to the surface, then these measurements match very closely to the globe prediction and nowhere near the FE prediction. So welcome to the globe for question 1. The second one is about bottom-up
Thanks for playing.
obstruction. So if, again, the two mountains, if I'm at the top of a 1,000-foot mountain and I'm looking at another 1,000-foot mountain that is 30 miles away, there is a 200-foot potato in the valley below. What is the maximum amount of the mountain that can be blocked by the potato? And there's a reason
Less than 200 feet.
the potato is Dearth. I posed this exact question to Dearth in a
If it was a cliff wall and a potato was sitting right up next to it, 200 feet. But since the face of the mountain is at an angle, and you can see over the potato, it'd be less than that.
a Twitter space a few months back, and he said the tower potato would have to be 1,000 feet tall in order to block the mountain, right? And that makes it's obvious. It's
Yep.
simple common sense, right? But Dearth puts out video after video of saying a 6-foot observer and a 3-foot wave can block a 250-foot cruise ship. And that's just rubbish. I need to see the geometry of flat Earth bottom-up obstruction, and I don't think I'm going to get it. And just going on bottom-up obstruction, my favorite...
Yeah, George, there's nothing wrong with me. It's just if I've got to go through this pain of hearing Brian and this flat Earth guy talk, somebody else is going to go through the pain with me. So,
flat Earth globe observation is Canigou. It's a mountain in the French Alps. And I've got all the data on the screen as the observer location and the target. So we're at about 1,000 feet. It's about 9,000 feet tall, looking at 165 miles or so. There is a great website called UDeutsche, which can give you a 3D render of what you should expect to see on a globe and also what you should expect to see on a flat Earth. So on the left, you've got the little tippy tops of the mountain pointing over the horizon. And on the right, you've got an enormous mountain range where there's obviously no obstruction between you and the mountain. There's no reason, geometry, there's no geometrical reason to not see the shoreline of the mountain there. So the two predictions are those. And if we go and actually check the photo on the Canigou website, you'll see that it matches the globe prediction pretty much near perfectly.
this is one that Witsit uses now. Is one day out of the year when the sun sets behind the mountain, behind the Canigou Mountains, you can see them. That proves that the Earth is flat. Yeah, dude, but you can only see the tippy top of them. Can't see all that mountain below it.
Yeah, and I think that is all. I'll hand it over
I think it's Canigou is what is Witsit's new chew toy, isn't it?
to that sexy hunk of man meat, Lucas.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll end the screen share there. Thank you so much,
6 foot tall hunk of man meat. What?
Ruhiffen, for your very kind introduction for Lucas there. But I will do some quick housekeeping. I will remind everybody that we are live at Modern Day Debate. So if you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it. I'm not seeing your screen share started yet there, Lucas, entirely.
This is working for me.
Oh, there you go. It's up and running now. So, yeah, just remind everybody, hit the like button, hit the subscribe. And if you do have questions for any of our speakers on screen, we are going to read Super Chats at the end of the discussion today. So, yeah, let's carry into your opening. I'll reset the timer. And whenever you're ready, Lucas.
Okay, just one sec. I'm having a bit of an issue with the screen share. Is it updating when I'm...
I got nuts and bolts today. I didn't get enough of them. I didn't get all the ones I ordered. I've still got some to come. But I've got a lot of the CNC assembled.
Move to different slides here?
I got to order some wire, some 28 or 22 gauge wire for the switches.
Yes.
Seems there's a bit of a delay, huh?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a delay, but yeah, just
But it's coming together.
all
Okay.
right. Oh, there you go. It's up
Can't
and
fucking
running there.
wait.
So yeah, that's full screen. All right, everybody, we're ready for Lucas. So thank you so much, Lucas. And yeah, whenever you're ready.
Excellent.
I need someone to donate $500 so I can finish the project.
Ruhiv did an excellent job summarizing the optical evidence that we have in terms of how we measure curvature most directly. And
If someone donates $500, they will get 10 cutting boards, 5 fucking guitar bodies. They will get what they want.
I always encourage everyone to go out and do their own research and do those measurements themselves. You may be surprised what you find if you're on the flat Earth side, maybe not so surprised if you are on the globe side.
I mean, if someone were to give me donate $500 to the project, they could go on Pinterest and just all day just link shit to me, and I'd make it for them.
My backup to his presentation is that curvature is indeed physical and geometric. And
Printed, 3D printed wood, doesn't matter.
the epistemological foundation of this presentation is from William of Ockham, classic Occam's razor, which states plurality should never be posited without necessity, or the simplest explanation that explains all observations ought to be the one that is accepted.
Was there only one dude from Occam named William? You always hear this like William of Occam or Sir whatever of whatever. What is there only like one of them? Were towns that small that they only had? It's like you couldn't name your kid William if somebody else is already named William. What? You never hear about like, wait, no, I'm William of Occam. No, I'm William of Occam.
The first argument we'll make here is that we can calculate and visualize curvature in raw GPS data without any sort of presumed spherical geometry. So to define this point, quickly just talk through the Earth-centered Earth
And everybody knows who's ever watched Bugs Bunny that it's pronounced Worcestershire.
fixed coordinate
Sauce.
system. This is just a Cartesian, so rectangular coordinate system. It's based with an origin at the
So flat then.
equatorial plane, which is sort of the center, as it were, of the Earth. The measurement of your position is shown on the right with that purple ray that draws out to a single point, is entirely in reference to the center of the coordinate system. This is a flexible and useful description of position and kinematics, motion relative to the Earth, and it makes no assumptions here of spherical geometry whatsoever, as you see. So the next point I want to...
Oh, also I put the I don't have the nuts to go on the ends of the bolts that hold the bearings in place. Hey, Fedro. Fredro. But I assembled them the best I could. And they ride on that on the 2-rail gantry really, really nice.
To discuss is just a quick overview of GPS. We won't need to get too technical into this, but at a very high level, GPS is based on orbiting platforms. 4 orbiting platforms are required to be in the GPS receiver's field of view. It sends a one-way signal to the receiver, and then a process is done known as trilateration, which is shown on the left-hand side. That trilateration process calculates your relative distances to the satellites as they move, and then that is how you get your 3 coordinates in the ECEF, X, Y, and Z, which can be converted to your latitude, longitude, and altitude. So the first thing I want to show here is a very, very simple plot, and we can look at this data in a lot more detail than this. But this is just a plot showing the equatorial plane and ECEF coordinates. So you can see the X and Y coordinates are parallel to the plane, and the Z-axis measures displacement relative to.
So flat then.
He took the data from Wolfie 6020 from a flight that he flew from Sydney to the West Coast and plotted that in the raw ECEF coordinates. And what do we observe? A great circle route demonstrating curvature. The blue is the starting point and the red is the ending point. How could it be possible if the Earth were not curved to see such curvature and to see displacement relative to the equatorial plane, starting on one side and moving to the other? So this is a clear demonstration of the curvature of the Earth. as is measured in a great circle route from the, again, raw ECEF data, just plotted here from its distance to the origin on the equatorial plane, no assumptions of spherical geometry whatsoever. To be a bit more precise, what we can do is we can pull data from a place that anyone can go to and do a measurement themselves. And again, do your own research. Don't trust me, get a GPS, go to the bridge, see what you measure. The precision data here was acquired by Jesse Kozlowski, and both of these data sets are hosted on Walter Bislin's website. For transparency, I'm happy to provide any of this data to anyone who wants to ask. Basically, again, so what we do is we look at the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway of approximately 24 miles, and we plot in raw ECEF, which is what's shown in the middle, and I've aligned it to the axis of the causeway to show two things. The first one is clear curvature as we move from one side of the causeway to the other. The second is that there's actually oblateness. Notice that there's a variation in the radius that we measure, which can be measured by comparison back to the equatorial plane. And that radius varies as a function of distance. It is very close to the equatorial radius from the WGS84 model, but there is a variation. So this establishes two things. One, the Earth curve is physical. Two, the Earth does indeed have an ellipsoidal shape. The second argument is navigation and distance and based on geometry. Now, on a sphere, 4 points may be placed at equal distances from one another. To understand why this is important and how we do this calculation.
What kind of critter is that out there back at Brian?
First,
Is that a cat? I hope.
We need to talk about the basics of great circle routes. It is the fact that all commercial flight planning uses
Is that a wolverine?
exclusively spherical
Badger?
geometry over a sufficient distance. The Haversine formula is a formula that calculates the great circle distance as shown in the figure on the right. For flight planning, only the minimal amount of fuel and a margin of error is brought onto the plane. The
There we
distances
go.
must be precise.
I'm in the
If
debate
the Earth
too.
were not the shape that is used in the software, planes would not arrive where they need to go. And again, just to counter another point that may be brought up,
There we
this
go.
is from an actual flight manual of pilots. When pilots are trained, they are trained with a spherical Earth. So a very basic puzzle for the flat earthers is to bring up this very simple principle. We can place 4 equidistant points on a spherical Earth, as is shown in the sphere on the right, a roughly spherical approximation to the Earth. And I have posted these 4 points here. The challenge is, if the Earth is flat, where can you place these points so that they are still equidistant? We will assert that using the planar distance metric, this will be impossible due to basic trigonometry because of the Pythagorean theorem. The sides between the legs of the rectangle connecting the points on a plane will always be greater than the edges. We demonstrate here 4 equidistant points on the Earth. I've also here used the Haversine formula to using the calculated value of the radius, not the published value, but the value I calculated earlier, to verify that the points are indeed equidistant. The final point, which is a bit more technical, but we can talk about this in more detail, is that the operation of inertial navigation, this is the system that is used for all commercial autopilots, for shipping, for submarines, for a wide variety of applications, needs to account for the principle that on Earth, plumb lines are not parallel with distance. In fact, as you move over the Earth's surface is not flat. This is demonstrated by an inertial system which has no external reference, no optics, no external sensors, merely sensing the motion of the craft, whatever it is, the submarine, the airplane, whatever vehicle you have, relative to the Earth. And what we can show here, this will be a bit more technical, but in simple terms, the sensed acceleration, which is used to establish a plumb line or a vertical reference, is going to vary as you move on the Earth. There is a measured and varying angle that is non-zero between plumb lines as that aircraft moves on the Earth. How can that happen on a flat Earth? It cannot. This is also exclusive evidence of the globe. I believe that's my time.
So next is Plane Reality. And I guess he's fucking like psychic, or not psychic, telekinetic. He can like talk to us through our minds. But that's what he's going to do. Either that or it's a pre-recorded presentation. One of the two. I'm not sure which one.
My screen's being shared now, is it? The horizon, it's all just perspective. Part one, perspective and the horizon. Everything that we see through the eyes of perspective. Everything from high goes down to low. Everything from low goes to high. Here we see an example in World War II photo, all the planes and ships, low to high, high to low, convergence at the horizon. Everything converges to the
Remember that. Remember this picture, because these here are further away than these, but they're higher up. Right?
horizon. The horizon is the highest visual point of the surface that you can see. Few questions. Objects in the foreground will always appear lower in your vision compared to objects as they get closer to the horizon.
Objects will appear lower. Oh, as they, I mean, objects in the sky will appear lower.
Objects on the horizon will always appear to be in the highest visual position. Objects beyond the horizon will do exactly the same things as the objects in the foreground.
And no, that's not true. That's not true, because as it keeps going past the horizon, it gets lower. Like if you have the same make of boat that's here, it's going to be lower.
And they will now drop below the horizon, just as the objects in the foreground did. They drop below the horizon. Everything obeys perspective. There is nothing that we can see that does not obey this. We can literally tell which of these objects are closer and which of these objects are further away just by how high they are in relation to the horizon. People looking from that jetty over there, looking the other direction, will be seeing this the exact opposite way around. So everything that we look at obeys this. Lower, the closer it is to you, and higher, the further away. There is nothing that you would be able to show. I challenge you to find something that does not do this. Millions of examples could be given. Now we move on to the horizon, rising with the observer. Here we have a video. I'm on the jetty. Camera is well above definitely above the railing. I lower the camera, below the railing. Above the railing, below the railing. Clearly the horizon is rising with the observer, but there is more. Here we have ships. We can tell that the observer is above these ships, because if the observer was below the ships or in line with the ships, we would see it more like this. So we know.
This is just a lesson in 5th grade art perspective. That's all this is.
Know that when we
He thinks this is profound.
see this, the
He thinks he's really proving something with this grade school fucking science or art class.
observer is above the ships. And here we have these ships here, and we can tell that the observer is probably somewhere around here, and the horizon is cutting straight through them all. Maybe the observer is here.
But you said the horizon's always at eye level. Right? It's always at the center. That's where everything converges. But no, everything converges at the center of your eye line.
Hard to tell exactly, but we know that the observer is not at base level, and we know the observer is not above them. Here we have a much lower observation. And how do we know it's lower? Because we can see the horizon just through the ships there. Okay, here we know that the horizon or the observer is well above these ships as the horizon is well above them. Now we go to an even higher position. Now we are probably many thousands of feet above these ships, and we can see them all lined up all the way to the horizon in the distance. Objects disappearing below the horizon. We have two ships, a small sailing boat and a large general cargo ship. We notice they are both doing the same thing. Both ships are appearing to drop below the horizon the further they get from the horizon.
No, they don't. The sailing ship in the middle left is in front. It's coming towards you.
I will now describe both observations using the same wording. As the ship goes beyond the horizon, we begin to lose the bottom of the ship. As it moves further away from the horizon,
Yes, because it's going past the curvature of the earth.
more of the ship appears to be dropping below the horizon, until eventually it will drop completely under the horizon. We see a perfect mimicking of what happens beyond the horizon happening in front of the horizon.
No, you don't, because you see the whole thing when it's in front of the horizon, and it's bigger.
They are the same thing. This is the main reason that ships disappear beyond the horizon. From there, we then need to take into
I mean, this makes absolutely no sense.
account angular resolution and Rayleigh's criterion.
Right, but that affects objects in totality, the whole thing. It doesn't just affect half of it.
Here we have a ship I filmed the other day. We see that it's clearly well below the horizon, and as it moves towards the horizon, we see the ship's hull become visible. Once it reaches the highest visual point, which is the horizon, it then starts to disappear into the inferior mirage. Here we have 2 different days, 2 different sailing boats. One's just past the horizon. It is well out of view now. It's starting to get right out of view. We can see that the buoy is right there at 3 miles away in the bottom picture. When we go even closer to that, we see now that the horizon is well beyond that buoy, and the sailing boat in the background is not even actually on the horizon yet. That horizon is many miles past that buoy, whereas beforehand the buoy was right on the horizon. I have had mirror tests from this location here, from a 2-foot mirror to a 5-foot observer. So now we're going to do a quick comparison between these 2 observations. We notice here in the first one, the buoy is on the horizon. To now make them the same, we need to add some water and add a buoy. If we take the water away, notice how high the buoy appears to be? This is the difference that a closer horizon or a further away horizon can make. It has nothing to do with the actual land moving. It is the horizon itself moving. So now we're just going to quickly go back over some of those boats we were looking at earlier. I want you to picture a observer on the opposite side of the horizon, equal distance from the horizon, and equal observer height. This is how these observations would look to them. All of these boats and ships would either be completely covered or partially covered by the horizon for that observer looking back towards them. Part 4, the distance to the horizon changes. Remember, the horizon is the highest position that we can see the surface. Everything on the horizon will look higher visually than everything in front of the horizon and everything behind the horizon. As the horizon moves position, everything else adjusts accordingly. Here we have a comparison of 5
He just keeps repeating himself over and over again.
different days, and as the days go on, you notice the land becoming more revealed until eventually we can see down to the shore. It is the horizon that is moving, the land is not lifting or sinking. And here we have a comparison of 16 days where you see the buoy is at a different distance relative to the horizon. Now we have a rock wall at semaphore. The rock wall is 3.6 miles away. Here we see the horizon is many miles beyond the rock wall. You can see the rock wall is below the horizon. And then as we go through different days, you see the rock will eventually get to the point where it is on the horizon, and you can no longer see any water in the background. Last but certainly not least, we get to this, and the question of why do the oil rigs appear to be at different heights on different days? What have we learnt so far? Everything on the horizon is in the highest visual position that you can see the surface. Everything before the horizon will appear below the horizon, and everything beyond the horizon will also appear below the horizon. The oil rigs are just doing exactly what perspective dictates. As you can see with the buoy and the jetty in the background,
No, that's not what perspective dictates.
to the very right, we see the jetty is well below the
See, they do not understand perspective. They don't understand the concept
waterline,
at all.
and the buoy is on the horizon and appears to be much higher than the jetty, which is not seen at all. In the middle photo, we now see that the horizon has moved to the reef, and we see water between the buoy and the horizon. The buoy has now become lower below the jetty, and then to the very left, we see the jetty is now well above the buoy, and the buoy is now well below the jetty. Whereas in the top right-hand picture, the buoy was at this height in comparison to the jetty. These 3 observations show you exactly what's happening during this observation that Zanuck has provided. The oil rigs are not lifting up over a curve. We just have a horizon that has moved further distance, and then all objects need to obey perspective. And all that's left now is to sail
doesn't understand,
into the
man.
sunset, and we
He just does not understand.
are done.
Thank you. Come again.
He thinks he does, but he just fucking
I'll stop
doesn't.
sharing. Have you got yours ready, Ryan, or you want me to share it?
Yeah. So if you've received that from Brian and you want to continue to share on your side, that's
I'll share
totally
it.
fine. Oh, you're ready to share on your end? That's totally cool.
Yeah, I
So I'll
believe
just
so.
do a quick thank you so much, Plain Reality, for your introductory statement. Another little quick housekeeping. I'll remind everybody that all of our debates are updated and uploaded to podcast form within 24 hours. So wherever you like to watch and listen to your favorite podcasts, you can check out Modern Day Debate there and get caught up on all of the debates you may have missed. But yes, let's head on over to Brian for the last introductory statement. So Brian, the floor is yours.
Okay, I wanted to say first that RUHIP is looking for the mathematics to predict what we see in the distance. But you just seen my partner's awesome presentation, and he shows that
Awesome? No, it wasn't.
everything is always constantly moving around. Period. There's no getting around it. I didn't bother to put any of that in my presentation because I knew he'd cover it, and he did. And if you use the diffraction limit, Rayleigh criterion, for a 6-foot observer looking out the distance, the horizon just coincidentally, I guess, calculates out to 3 miles. I guess that's just a coincidence, but using the viewing radius of light, using a similar radius.
Using the Rayleigh criterion, what the fuck does that have to do with what that has nothing to do with where we see the horizon, Brian?
Is that a Earth curve? Then it's all covered. There.
According to the Rayleigh criterion, we should be able to see a 300-foot tall boat 500 miles away, but we can't see them past 30.
There's a Heath Carmody has a refraction. He has a program he made for viewing over a flat plane. But I want to go ahead and share screen. And one other thing, yeah, he says that his predictions match the Earth curve predictions perfectly. Yeah, when you have 4.9 kilometers of refracted drop, yeah, anybody could make something match
Long legs, never heard of it.
with that scenario. Let's see here. Tell me if I'm sharing.
Not yet. Are you streaming like from a phone right now, or are you on?
No, I'm on a laptop.
Okay, so yeah, right in the center. I'll just pause the timer there. Right in the center of our Zoom chat. If you just make our Zoom chat big, go to the bottom. Just hover
Oh, Nick Cage.
over our call, and there should be a little green icon that says screen share.
Yeah. Clayton, do you think you could go ahead and share for me? Because I'm having trouble here.
Yep. Hold on.
I hit the share. I did what you said, but
Well, the cat's jumping on each other in the background is keeping us entertained for now while we wait to get this up and running. But I do have the timer paused, and Plane Reality is getting up the screen share. So there we go. It looks like you received the presentations. So let me just get the timer back up and running here. So once again, good opportunity for everybody in our live chat to hit that like button and share this out in those spaces that you like having these debates. Let's get to it.
Is ground level at Mount Canigou. So you can see that this much of the mountain is obscured by water.
So you're using Ruhif's video? That's Ruhif.
It's almost like there's some sort of bulge there.
So you heard it here first. All you Globers out there denying the hump, one of your top guys just explicitly told you there is a hump there.
No, he said it looks like there's a bulge there.
And why are you calling that ground level? Isn't that ground level at Canigou also, Ruif? And that one? Aren't these all ground level at Canigou? Why the blue one, bud? Oh, yeah, because of hump, right? So what I found is that to get to the bottom of Ruhif logic is to go over the numbers he doesn't analyze and bring up. So let's look at them. So what does Ruhif have to do to achieve this quote unquote hump? He has to drop the horizon down almost 5 kilometers. That's what they have to do. That's over twice as much refraction that the flat Earth observation would have it at. Ruhif claims that blue line is the bottom of Canigou, and that's where it should be on a flat Earth. He's got it at 0.66, basically 0.67 degrees. Let me show you how perspective works, Ruhif, and why your measurements wouldn't work in reality. We just call these clouds about 2 miles high. So you see that's 2 miles there. As we get closer to the mountain, the clouds drop down, that's 2 miles, and all the way off in the distance is also 2 miles. So let's say this cloud right here is sitting on the horizon. That's about how high it would be, 2 miles or around 2.7 kilometers.
But then you also have clouds like down here, Brian. How can they get lower than a mountain that's not 2 miles tall?
Let's see how Ruhif's math matches reality. So we put in a 60-kilometer horizon and a 2.7 kilometer cloud height, and we get 2.5 degrees. So let's see how high this cloud would be at the horizon. We literally have to shrink the screen down to a miniature, and the cloud would be that high it's sitting over the horizon. Does that match reality? No, I don't think so. I guess Ruhif thinks the mountain's shaped like this, but that blue line at the bottom, he's saying is the ground level for Canigou. I guess he's saying that should be a flat Earth horizon, but you can't have it both ways, Ruhif. So he wants it both ways, and I'm going to show you how. Okay, we'll even give him the benefit of the doubt and use the refractive.
So he doesn't understand perspective.
Value. So we know the angular size of the sun is 0.53 degrees roughly.
Just Brian being Brian again.
Globe calculated drop to the horizon is 0.67 degrees. So the true horizon has to be either globe or flat horizon. So if it's a globe horizon, let's just say that line in the middle, marking the true horizon is a globe horizon, then the flat earth horizon would have to be way up here. It'd have to be off the screen. I literally had to lower the screen to get it to even fit. And
No,
if we claim that
no, dipshit. It would be at your eye level, but you wouldn't see it. It'd just be blurry. But it wouldn't be in front of anything.
true horizon is a flat earth horizon, then the globe horizon would have to be off the screen down there at the bottom. That's 0.67 degrees. So you can't have a flat and a globe horizon
Jesus
down
Christ.
there. You can't have a flat earth horizon
No, you can never have a flat earth horizon, dipshit, because the earth isn't flat.
up above the true
Good
horizon
Lord.
and say that it should be below. Ruif, which is it? So using globe math, these horizon adjustments are ridiculous. The answer is it's neither. The globe earth mass is wrong. Let's look at some other measurements. So from here to here is 0.53 degrees in angular size, which at that distance makes 2.7 kilometers. We know the globe mass say that this line is 69 miles to the horizon, which makes this line 200 miles. And all this while this line is 2.7 kilometers. So take a look at that and let it sink in for a minute. So it kind of looks like that yellow and don't belong, right? Well, this gets way worse. Okay. This is so it says that Canigou is about 50 kilometers from the sea. Okay. And the globe maps say it's about 69 kilometers to the horizon. So we got 69 kilometers to the horizon. And from this little line, from the mountain to the land, is 50 kilometers, which makes this little line 150 kilometers. Are you kidding me?
Those hills are actually 500 meters above sea level. And that's not possible on a flat Earth. This image is completely impossible on a flat Earth.
Refraction in the air makes distant things appear slightly higher.
Look at that backdrop right there and look at its distance from the horizon. Now imagine that that top line is the top of a mountain or the bottom of a cloud, and the bottom line is basically the horizon. And watch what happens when he lowers the camera and enters into the denser gradient. Look at the horizon and the top of the mountain or the bottom of the clouds. Look at the gap. As he gets lower, he's still line of sight, and look how it starts dropping down. So things in the distance are appearing lower, not higher.
Whatever the effect is, it absolutely lowers it in the background. The density lowers that object in the background. And Miles Davis, who's put all those videos out of Tropane Law, saying that there's a mountain in the distance and it's lower in perspective than it should be. And I've lined myself up at 210 meters, and in the background we have this mountain that's lower than it should be. Well, here's your answer on a flat plane, Miles Davis. Here's your answer. Here's every glober's answer.
The bottom line represents the horizon and the top line represents the cloud. Watch as he lowers the camera into the density.
The image from behind.
Sugar's thickest at the bottom. Look at the steeple or the cloud lower, not rise.
You can see
an object getting lower down to the horizon, not raising up. That's three completely different setups, all showing distant objects lowering due to refraction, not rising.
All right, well, we're right
What
at
if
time.
I could teach you one?
So we'll end the screen share there. Here, I can pop that.
Wow, that
off
was
right
brilliant,
quick.
Brian.
All right, if everybody wants to pop back on camera, we will get right to our open discussion.
That
I want to
was-
have a big thank
That was fucking brilliant, Brian.
you to all of our speakers in the live chat. Show a lot of appreciation for the people that come out to Modern Day Debate to make it happen. All the speakers here on the panel, and of course you in the live audience, we appreciate you as well. So once again, we will do super chats at the end of our discussion here. I'm going to put 50 minutes on the clock, and we'll start a first round of open discussion, and we'll see where we are at in 50 minutes. So with that, I'm going to hand it back over to the other side to respond to some of what they've just heard. And then feel free to jump in here, FE Tests and Plain Reality, as we start to go through. So go ahead there, fellas.
Cool. Can I jump in, Lucas, pretty please?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Take it away.
One sec.
Be right back.
Share. All right, sharing my screen. So, Plain Reality said in his presentation Everything high goes to low, and everything low goes to high. Can you? Does that go to eye level? So everything below your eye level ramps up to eye level, and everything above your eye level ramps down to eye level.
It'll go up to what you would perceive as your eye level. We all know that if you actually take out a theodolite or some kind of measuring device, that you can actually see that there is a gap between the horizon and your eyes. So it's not 100% there, but unless you have a device, you can't tell that. So when you're just actually looking out there yourself, you don't notice that drop.
Okay, but perspective, pure perspective, right? On a flat plane, pure perspective, will things above you ramp down to eye level, and will things below you ramp up to eye level? Purely perspective.
Everything will ramp down to the horizon, and everything will go up to the horizon.
I said eye level.
I just answered that. I answered.
Will
that.
it ramp down to eye level and up to eye level?
It goes down to the horizon and it goes up to the horizon.
Again, I didn't say horizon, right? The base of these trees, if we do this in pure perspective, they will reach the vanishing point, which is your eye level. Right? It doesn't go to the horizon, it goes to eye level, purely perspective.
Yep.
So
and where's the horizon based on? The horizon's based on what?
The horizon
Where the
in
earth
reality
meets the
is
sky.
below eye level.
It's right. It's based on your eye level, though. If you rise up, the horizon rises with you, right?
No, we'll get to that in a minute. It most certainly does not, measurably does not. All right, so on the right-hand side of this image is a photo I took 6 months ago. That ship, which is also obscured bottom up, the top of that ship, my elevation is 23 meters. The top of those ships are about 30 meters. Why is there some bias to perspective that makes the top of that ship ramp down to below eye level, but not the bottom of the ship ramp above eye level? You've got a bias. Why is there a bias in perspective to up and down?
How does everything look in perspectively the closer it is to you?
Bigger.
And?
What would you like me to say?
So if you're at 23 meters high, and something is only, let's say, 10 meters high, and it is right below you,
I look down.
How does it look perspectively? It looks, you look down.
I look down at it. Yep.
It's lower. And now as it gets to the horizon, are you looking straight across or are you looking down?
I'm still looking down.
Wow. You think that's down?
Yeah.
You're looking straight across. Oh.
No, I'm looking down. See the crosshairs? The crosshairs in that image is eye level. That's what the auto level does. Second.
Your feet are down, Ruif.
Right.
The ground right in front of you is down. You're not looking down, dude. I don't know why you're being...
Right. If I'm at 23 meters on a flat Earth and I'm looking at something 10 meters away, is it always below me?
Technically, yes.
Yes. So I'm looking down.
No, you're not looking. Because when you're looking over, so when you're 23 meters up, so that's like what? That's about 70 feet.
70 feet. Yeah.
Right? So at that distance there, you'd be looking at a horizon probably approximately on the geometric, if we were going to talk a pure, like what you would call on the globe, geometric, you'd be looking at around 9 to 10 miles up. So when you're looking at something and you've got 70 feet distance over 10 miles, which is what, 50, maybe 60,000 feet, that's imperceivable. That angle is tiny.
It's not imperceivable.
You're not going to notice that angle. You're looking.
I'm showing you on screen. It is perceivable.
Yeah, but what you're showing us is with a device, and that device is zoomed in, so therefore you can see the actual difference. When you just use your eyes, you cannot see the difference.
Right, your eyes are rubbish. Should I use a? There you go. Yeah, I was going to say, should I use a precision instrument?
That the device is creating an effect that isn't actually there?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
So you're not that with the device. So the drop below eye level would be there. You're just claiming that you can't distinguish it without a device.
Yes, you can't distinguish it without a device.
Rip knows that's what he's saying. I don't understand what he's saying. Rip, you keep saying down. What? Down is your feet, Rip.
So
down is the ground right in front of you.
Then how is that exclusive evidence of a flat Earth?
I mean, Brian looks like Barney fucking Rubble. He looks like Barney Rubble.
Any
I'm
regard.
trying to. Well, we got to get past this simple little point. I was just now trying to be able to share screen, but I was going to show the Felix Baumgartner jump, where I marked the horizon in the capsule, hanging down, and it's hanging level. Okay, and I just left the line on the screen. He goes up 128,000 feet, and he opens the capsule, and the horizon is right there, just barely underneath where it was at ground level. And Ruiff says it doesn't rise, but in this instance, it just happened to rise 128,000 feet. But usually it doesn't, I guess. I mean, why?
Let's address Felix.
I have another demonstration actually.
Can I just address Felix for a second? Right. So Brian's talking about a shot taken when the capsule is on the ground and seeing where the horizon is in the from the capsule. Right. If you watch the footage when they take off, you will see the capsule take off at an angle such that it is pointing down. I haven't got it.
Yeah, when you use instruments, you're calculating. You aren't measuring.
What?
Where I showed the horizon,
calculations aren't measurements.
Ruiff, it's literally hanging. It's
He's on the
hanging from a
ground.
crane. It's hanging from a crane, the same way it's hanging from the balloon. It's the same rope.
Yeah. But the photo
maybe
you're talking
when he
about is on the
takes off,
ground.
it might lean down. Maybe, but when
Yeah.
he gets up out of his chair, it doesn't move. You don't see
Right, but
anything moving. It's stable. It's
Right, but how are you
designed to support
determining?
a lot of weight?
How are you determining what is horizontal on like a hanging object?
And I think that's the key point, because you sort of just conceded there, plain reality, that you're not alleging that a drop doesn't occur. You're just saying that you wouldn't be able to visually distinguish it, if I'm not strawmanning you. So what we're saying is, and I'm demonstrating here, you look at the screen share as well, this is a well-known phenomena that's covered in every aviation manual. The horizon drops below horizontal demonstrably. And this is shown to, by Totoro, who's on my server, Globe Gangsters, did this analysis of the footage from Wolfie, and the drop here precisely matches the expectation of the globe to within fractions of a degree. So
the horizon is going to be based. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I didn't mean to.
The horizon is going to be based on the visibility of the day, and that Felix Baumgartner shot, it's crystal clear, so it's going to be up higher, close to the eye level. Okay, so in other words, if it's foggy and you're looking at the horizon way in the distance, see, we've spoiled y'all with P1000 and these long distance shots where y'all think we have P1000s for eyeballs. We don't. Okay, when the visibility of the day, the horizon is basically just an infinity point way out in the distance. When we zoom in, then we see things crystal clear. So what plain reality is?
No, the horizon isn't an infinity point. It's not.
Is describing
the tangent of the Earth isn't infinity miles away.
Is what we see with our eyes when we zoom
damn,
in.
Brian, come
doing
on,
a
man.
Perfect description of that. But so I've asked before, and I want to see if any of y'all brought. I've challenged many Globers. We've done these laser tests, and sometimes you don't see it. But when we catch side-on or orthogonal views of the laser, we see that it's curving up, literally curving up. And Plain Reality showed that. I've showed it in my video, and he showed it on Globebusters a Sunday before last. Well, for starters, to even see the laser, it's got to curve down on a globe, right? So if it's got to curve down on a globe, and we step to the side and we see it.
No, it doesn't have to curve down on a globe. It can refract off of water molecules in the air, off of a fucking the crest of a wave.
Curving upward. Can any Glober show me a laser from an orthogonal view bending up? Because that's what's got to be,
bending down.
I mean, bending down. That's what's got to be happening on a globe.
Yes, we've shown you this, man. We've shown you a laser going through sugar water, through a tank of sugar water. It's more dense in the bottom than it is at the top, and the laser fucking goes down, you fucking liar.
To even see it in the first place, but to describe y'all's refraction.
I mean, they ask for shit, we show them shit, they keep asking for it. Just fucking dishonest, man. Just fucking intellectually dishonest.
If you're 6 feet off the water, what is a bending down laser going to look like to you?
That's what I'm asking for. Okay.
You'd hit the water. You would see
Can
it
you
going
pull
to
up
Hit the water and what? What will it?
If you're looking in that direction, it's going to look like a straight line because that's what your vision's doing too, dipshit.
do when it hits the water?
You'll still
Reflect.
see it bending down.
Reflect. Right.
You'll see two of them then. We've showed demonstrations of that too. You know when it's reflecting, it's pretty obvious because
Right.
then you get a reflection.
So you're going to see any light, not know whether it's bounced off the surface or refracted or whatever, and just go, we see the laser.
Is that your
Right.
way of getting around showing demonstrations? Like I said, we had 5 of them we put together. Every one we've showed, they bend up. Can you show me even one that bends down? Can you show me one that
You're not going to be able to see it. You're not going to
So
be
I
able to
have
see it because it will still come to you.
Plane, can
You're
you
just going
pull
to say,
them
I
up?
see the laser.
Yeah.
Can I just ask real quick on that topic? Because I think there was one thing that was kind of put out there that I think is relevant. So there's 2 pieces of this current discussion.
Should we keep
The
the
first
screen
one
share
was a
up?
claim.
Not to cut you off. Should we keep the screen share up, or can we go back to our main
Oh,
screen?
just real quick, let me just finish this
All
point
right,
and
let's
then
keep.
I'll pass it over.
We'll keep going then. No worries. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah. So I think that there's 2 things that are important here. The first one is a claim that this measured drop would not be visible as a function of the weather conditions. Then the second point that was raised was that there's a laser bending up visible in some of these laser tests near the surface. So I have 2 related follow-ups to that. The first question I have is, what is the effect of increasing altitude from the surface on refraction? And the second question I have is, what law of optics, what is the law, what do the laws of optics state causes refraction or the bending of light between 2 media?
What the laws of refraction state is a change in medium. Okay. So what happens as we rise up? What happens? Okay. The humidity starts getting lower and lower. I think we can all agree with that. Okay. So water vapor
That's not what they mean by a change of medium.
or clouds and everything to do with has a lower density than the air. So we have a thicker, more humid medium, and the RF refraction chart for the U.S. standard atmosphere shows that it says it's a shame they don't use the humidity because it plays a way bigger part. So in other words, when you change mediums, that's Snell's law. That's what's gonna show refraction, not just going through regular air horizontally. It's the change of medium that plays the bigger part.
Okay,
Change of density. Yeah.
There's a change in medium, but if there's 2 media next to each other, what is the property of them 2 mediums that will cause it to bend towards one versus the other? It will always bend towards which medium, demonstrably?
Look, I'm good with all these things y'all are saying, but can you demonstrate any of it on screen?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you answer the question though? According to Snell's law, if there's a boundary between 2 media,
it's going to reflect toward the denser medium.
There you go.
Great. And that's the claim. And then the second claim was that you made was that the atmosphere gets denser as a function of altitude.
No. What are you talking about? Density? Do you mean pressure or density? What are you talking about?
What are you claiming?
You're mistaking pressure with density.
No, I'm confused. So it seems to me that what are you arguing specifically happens to refraction, the refractive index of air, assuming as we rise as a function above sea level?
Well, my ultimate argument is that we can clearly demonstrate with your own guys' demonstration is that the things up above shrink down lower toward the horizon. I showed it in my presentation. So, I mean, dude, all these words are great, but if y'all could show something, that would be even better. I mean, I'm not saying that sarcastically, like you have anything to show or you can't. I mean, I literally would like to see something doing what y'all claim it does instead of just pointing and saying, look, see globe.
Sure.
Just going back to really, really basic. If I'm at 23 meters and there's a cargo ship in front of me, which is 30 meters tall, I'm looking up, right? That's simple perspective. On a flat Earth, no matter how far away that gets, I'm always looking 7 meters up, always.
Okay, but that 7 meters, as you get further and further out, gets more and more. So what are you calling up? So are you saying like point? So if something's 1 mile above your eye,
so they don't understand angular size change with perspective. They just don't understand that. They think they do, but they don't. He thinks that 7 feet would drop. Right? If you're 7 feet off the ground, he thinks that 7 feet's going to go down lower.
I mean, let's say 1 foot above.
Hey, William.
Above your eye, and it's 20 miles away, the brightest light you could fathom. That you call that up?
Yes, it's a positive angle.
And so what you're saying then is that the ship doesn't get smaller. The ship like
Did I say anything approaching that?
So I think
Okay,
Ruip
so-
thinks that. Go ahead, Plain. Sorry.
So then what you're basically trying to say is that the ship, when it's right in front of you at 30 meters tall, is identical to the ship when it's 12 miles away.
It's the same ship. The angle to it will be less.
Okay. And perspectively, how does it look? Does it look the same
Smaller.
size or does it look smaller?
No, smaller.
Okay, so then why would you be looking up when it's now 12 miles away?
Because it's still
Miles away.
7 meters above me. No matter how far away it gets on flat Earth, it is still 7 meters above me. That angle will get really, really, really small, but it will
Yeah.
still be positive.
So when that angle gets really, really, really small, you're not going to look up. You're going to look straight across.
Ow.
Positive angle greater than
You call it
zero.
po-
I
you
don't
call
care
it
how
positive
small
all
it
you
gets.
want. You
I
call
don't
it
care how
positive
small
all
it
you
gets.
want.
It's still positive.
It's
How does that
positive
angle get
by
negative?
numbers. Ruip is a numbers guy. Plain. It's positive by numbers, but however insignificant they may be, Ruip's looking at the numbers, man. So
Yeah.
You'll be looking
But-
dead
and we're-
straight
we're-
across. You are not going to look
I'm not.
up. You're going to look straight across.
Okay.
No.
0.0000001.
second.
Is that positive?
Hold on a second. Every single person out there listening to this right now, next time you're out and you're about 30 meters or 10 meters or whatever it is above the surface of the water, look straight out. If you think that even something that is like 100 feet tall, straight over there on the horizon, there's not one person here who would turn around and say that they're looking
nobody.
up. No
Are
one.
they looking
would
0
ever say
degrees,
that.
a positive angle, or a negative angle? I don't care
They're
how
looking-
small the angle is. You
looking-
That's
seem to
why
think
you
that
have
in
no
your eyes-
demonstrations, because you want just the numbers.
Looking
Like you
dead
said, if
straight
you
across.
ask a million people what direction you're facing out there on the horizon, and everybody's going to say straight ahead. Everybody, okay? We get the numbers. It's going to be 0.01 or
I ask
something.
people-
That's why
You
can't
guys are scared of
demonstrate.
small numbers. What's wrong with a small number? What's
No.
wrong with using a precision instrument to measure something?
No one's scared of small numbers, Ruhif. What you're
nothing
doing,
at all.
you're denying actual reality in the way that we see things. You're
Well,
denying
hold
the
on.
fact that
So
when we
it's-
just look dead straight across, we look straight across. We do not look
No.
up or down. We look straight across.
Is
So
the
I-
angle greater than 0 or less than 0
All right.
or actually 0?
I'll let you share
It
the
is
screen there since you're requesting.
imperceivable.
Let's just
I
head
already
over
said
to
that.
Heath
I already
there.
said numerically,
Man,
it's a smidge above or below, depending on if it's above or
Right.
below. We're talking.
this flat reality or plain reality guy's a fucking ignorant idiot. He's a is he where? No, okay.
But if you're on a flat Earth, what's your prediction for it?
You hear
He's
the
an idiot.
The prediction,
prediction is shit
perceivable.
moves.
You won't be able to tell that you're looking up or down. You're not going to be able to tell
Not
that.
with your eyes. Not with your eyes. We're not using your eyes, Plain. We're
Using a fucking theodolite, man. An auto level or an auto level. They're not the same thing.
using a precision instrument
When
designed
you
to
use
measure
precision
angles.
instruments, stuff moves around. Okay, do a time
Well,
lapse. We've showed
okay,
many
hold
of
on,
them. So
hold on.
when you-
Hold on. Let
wait,
me.
wait,
let
wait,
me
wait. One,
have a
one last
direct
thing.
one
When you
for
get
that, though.
when you get down
Let's
to
let
these
Brian ask.
precision measurements, man, like I've even showed y'all's own teammate Jesse Gordon. I mean, looking out at the horizon, and I showed 3 examples of where the horizon was
There you go, Brian. There's exactly what you asked for.
above 0. So,
Right. What
but
was his
anybody's
height?
going to say it straight out ahead. So, I mean, so when we get that technical, it's going to move around like crazy all over the place when you get that fine of measurements, man.
What was his height? Observer height
Man.
for those above.
He had 3
Man.
different heights. One of them was, I think, 26, and one of them was right by the ground, and the other was like in between. Doesn't matter, man. It's
Yes,
bound-
it does.
It
Yes,
moves
does.
around, doesn't it?
Well,
Can
hold
you
on.
show-
Can you share my
There-
screen, please, Ryan?
Yeah,
Can
your
you share my
screen's up
screen?
and running.
We got to get past this, man. We got to get
I
past
just
it.
had the
Uh,
Yeah, you need to fucking learn shit, man. That's what you need to do, Brian. We've tried to fucking educate your ignorant ass, but you don't want to be educated.
No,
water
Luke's,
gradient
yeah.
Is it
demonstration up. I don't
not?
know
Oh,
if
this
you
is
wanna-
Lucas's. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. I'll hand it back over to you, Ruhif, in a sec. But
Sorry
if I
about
could
that, Reeve.
say 2 things. The first one is, so this is a demonstration by Jesse of a saltwater gradient that he's created in a tank. And the point being, the light, you can see a laser and you can see the sunlight, and it's always bending down towards the direction of the denser media. The second point is, you made a claim that somehow this difference in horizon is explainable by refraction, but you haven't demonstrated that. And then the final point I wanted to bring up is that you seem to think that when we do measurements of something like, for example, drop over distance, that the optics just makes things go herky-jerky all over the place. But here's one set of measurements done from 1 to 27 miles. I fit a curve to these measurements in blue, and then I made a prediction on an entirely different set of measurements. Notice how there's no measurements that are inconsistent with the expectations on a globe Earth.
What are your
and
outliers?
Adjusted per refraction.
What are your outliers?
What are my outliers?
Yeah.
What do you mean by outlier? Can you be
Outliers,
specific?
your highest and lowest measurement there. How far apart are they?
Let me pull. I can pull up the specifics for you, but they're
So you
all
don't even
within.
You don't even know. You're making claims and you don't even know.
Well, I know I can bring it up. Do you want the specific numbers of the out? First of all, okay, Brian, let's go there then. Could you define what an outlier is for me, statistically?
The highest and lowest, the ones that don't fit. The ones that don't fit. I'm just giving a common sense explanation. The outliers, the ones that don't fit in the normal bundle.
You want to use this?
I don't know why you ask a question and then puke all over me, bro. The outliers are the ones that don't fit in the normal bunch of measurements for just
okay. So the total root mean squared error across all of the measurements in the first example was 1.14, and in the second example it was 67 feet. You know what root mean squared error is?
Yeah. But you said 1.14 feet.
Yes, and in the other one it was 67 feet.
Feet what?
And I can pull up my code right here, and I can tell you exactly what the distribution of the data was.
I trust you more, Juan. Just explain it. Explain what you know.
So there's you take the difference between the expectation and the measurement, right? And then you you take the difference and square it, and then you take the square root. And that is actually a measurement that is more sensitive to observations that are further than the mean. The reason I asked you about the statistical definition of an outlier is that outliers are
Oh, by the way, I'm going to change my name to Robert. It's still going to be spelled S-H-A-W-N. It's just going to be pronounced Robert.
Defined relative to the standard deviation of the data distribution. In both of these cases, the furthest outliers, and I can tell you the exact numbers, I have them right here. So in the case of Shoebill's measurements, there was a total, the smallest one was 2.5 feet, and the smallest one was 3 feet. And let me get you the exact numbers for Jesse's. There was so in his Mount Baker measurements, which were 36 measurements to 75 miles, there was about a 200-foot spread total. And let's see his other one here. I can load that as well.
Yep, William.
A 200-foot spread. Okay, so that's pretty minimal, man. I didn't mean to get bogged down on this.
Oh,
but,
yeah, you're fine. I just
understand what you're saying. But I think we're all in agreement. This is why I'm trying to get past this. I think we're all in agreement that things in the distance can appear to be lower. But I think we did a good enough job showing reality.
We're not in agreement.
Let me just show something quickly.
So you don't agree that things appear?
I love how they just. I mean, Flightsoid does this too. So, oh yeah, I think we can all agree that the Earth is flat. Right? I think we can all agree that perspective hides things halfway.
You're lower.
Agree to disagree. No, there's no agree to disagree about it. You're fucking wrong.
In the distance?
If something is taller than you on a flat Earth, it will always be taller than you.
You're talking about strictly mathematically speaking, yet when you show Canigou, you've got 4.9 kilometers of refracted drop, dude.
Yeah, because the Earth isn't flat, dumb fuck.
Okay, so you can't hold your model and allow all this freaking refracted drop and enlarge the radius of Earth mathematically, and then just hold us to strict mathematics, man. Is that fair? Is that fair, Ruben?
We can talk about enlarging the radius of the Earth, but you guys keep making.
What's your zoom limit?
Just before you go ahead and go into that example, I think there was a bit of a divergence there in opinion. I think Plain Reality, you were trying to jump in and say that you had not agreed with something. I don't know if it was something that Brian had said that you were trying to differentiate yourself from as far as like how he was presenting that idea, or I do want to give you a chance though. I'm not sure what you were injecting with there. No worries. I didn't want you to lose your chance there. So go ahead there, Ruth, if you want to carry into your example there.
What zoom level are you at there, Ruhif?
It's about 1.5 degrees wide, I think. Tall, yeah. So whatever that equates to.
Right. But that is a zoomed in picture we're looking at, right?
Well, technically not zoom, it's a long focal length.
Okay, so
Yeah,
the
long
equivalent
focal
of
length.
zoomed in.
Sure. Anyway, so Brian said everything is constantly moving around. And I agree that's true close to the surface, right? You've heard my refraction lecture 50 times, I'm sure, Brian, right?
I have,
Where
but let me say, I said when you're talking about these specific measurements, when you're talking about his chart showed it. When we're talking, we were speaking about just the eye and what people would say if they're seeing something on the horizon, and they'd all say it's out in front of us. You mentioned way technical with the 0.01, and I said when you get that fine of measurements, then stuff is going to move, and then your Lucas literally demonstrated it right behind me claiming it, man. I don't know why. Let's get past these formalities, man. Let's get to the
keep
real world
appealing to your
demonstrations, man.
eyes. Your eyes are rubbish, right? There was a demonstration that Rory did. Remember Rory over in Canary Islands, I think. He did this demonstration where he stood on one side of his lounge room, picked a point on the opposing wall where he thought eye level was, and then walked, kept his eye on that point and walked towards that point. And he was something like 2 or 3 inches off over, I don't know, 15 feet or something like that, right?
Welcome to flat
Your
Earth.
eyes are
I'm just
rubbish.
kidding. Your eyes are rubbish. No, but
Yeah, your eyes are rubbish.
we're using
Why would
Euclidean
we?
geometry for all that, right?
It's how you see the world.
Yeah, but why would you use your eyes to eyeball and guess at something when you have a precision instrument? I don't understand why
You
that's
missed the point,
issue.
Ruhif. You said when we get down to these technical small measurement, differentials, and that's when I say that stuff is going to move around when you get that technical.
Look at my screen.
Blaine was describing was just with your eyes, and you denied it. I don't know why. Like he was describing what I mean. He's literally asked people like, "How would you describe that horizon out there? Would you describe looking up or down?" Ask a million people; they're all going to say it straight out. Okay. Now, when
Again,
you
seem to be dismissing. You're dismissing accuracy for just.
I don't know if you have a whole beach full of surveyors with auto levels. Ask them, Brian.
People going, oh yeah, it looks pretty eye level to me.
When we get that accurate, you agree stuff does move around. But so you can't agree. Can we all agree that, like, say, mountains way in the distance appear to drop sometimes? I'll even give you the majority of the time.
They drop because of Earth curve.
That says you, okay? Says you, but that's what the debate's for.
No, says what we measured, Brian.
Right. Look at my screen.
That's something we can all
Jesus
agree to.
Christ.
Yeah, look at my screen, right? This is what April, May, June, July, August, October, from one of my favorite spots to go and watch cargo ships. The horizon has hardly moved at all. It's really close to where it should be if the Earth's a globe, right? There's not as much variation in the horizon. This is only about 23 meters, by the way, so it's still relatively close to the surface.
Can you zoom into your June 25th?
June 26th of June? Hang on, what's wrong? 26th of June.
No, the 25th of June.
25th,
sorry. 25th. Yep.
Okay, so what do you see there?
A ship.
And what is it? What's going on with the ship?
The inferior mirage.
Okay, and what does an inferior mirage do to the horizon?
It creates like a false horizon there.
But what does it do to the horizon?
Creates a false horizon.
There's something else it does.
In what way? What does it?
What do you mean? It hides. It mirrors a part of the ship and hides what's behind it.
What else does it mirror, Ruhif?
What would you like me to say, Brian? Please put
the right
words
answer,
in my
man.
Mouth.
If you've
Please
done all
put
this,
those
you'll
words
know
in
his
my
answer.
mouth.
Done the observations, you should know that an inferior mirage brings the horizon closer to 100% of the time. So that horizon that you're actually looking at right there, that horizon could easily be twice as close as what your geometric horizon is meant to be.
Right. I called it a false horizon, right? So it's not the horizon moving closer.
What I'm saying
it is a false horizon.
No. The horizon has moved closer to you, right?
Yeah,
so now what you have is you have a horizon that is much closer to you, but appearing to be in the same position.
Right. We have a difference of definition here. When I say it's a false horizon, I mean the actual horizon is still at the distance it is, but because of the upwardly bending light close to the surface, then it's a false horizon and it blocks.
What do you mean the actual horizon?
The horizon. It's just the horizon. It's not false. It's the horizon.
Can I ask a question with regards to this? So it seems to be I guess two points to clarify. There seems to have been two statements made that I wonder if we could just come to a point of agreement on. That perhaps that you agree that the horizon will be measured below horizontal with the precision instrument, and it only appears so to the eyes. And the second claim that was made by Brian, that I think is relevant, was, and correct me if I'm wrong here, I'm not trying to straw man, it was that there is a measured drop over distance, measured from the top down, of missing height. And your guys' claim would be that that is due to optics. And then the third thing, I guess, would be that the apparent horizon, let's say, or indeed it would be just due to optics as well. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I'd say when you get up, especially when you get up higher and you're looking further, so the measurements are going to be a little more consistent. Yeah, way off in the distance, but my demonstrations in my presentation at the end, I showed 3 demonstrations from Globers where things are literally dropping down and that's the way you claim refraction's working. You claim that the air is denser toward the ground, so you claim light's refracting down. Even if I grant you that, I literally showed with the sugar water where it's denser at the bottom that things are appearing lower. Every single time you do that demonstration, you get down in the density gradient and things appear lower. There's no getting around it. I mean, I don't know why y'all are denying just basic reality.
Okay,
let me. And then here with this, observation that we're looking at right now. Now, from 70 feet, the supposed geometric, I'm just going to use the geometric horizon, would probably be more like about 9 miles away. Well, this horizon here that we're looking at right now could easily be more like only 4.5 miles away. Because from my experience of what I have seen over hundreds of days of filming the horizon, I can get a horizon that is almost up to 2 times closer and then up to anywhere to 15 times further away.
How did you measure
it? Yeah, how did you measure it? But also, if you're 70 feet up...
Because I can see the shore at 15 miles away, and I've been able to see the shore at 15 miles away from a 6-inch observer height. And then I've also been able to, from a 20-foot observer height, know that the horizon is in front of a buoy that I have, which is 3.6 miles away. And from a 20-foot observer height, the geometric horizon is 5.48 miles. So if I'm seeing the horizon in front of a buoy that is 3.6 miles away, I know that it is closer than 3.6 miles.
If you're 70 feet up, how far did you say this horizon could be at a guess? You said like 5 miles, was it?
Oh, well, I don't know the exact geometric, but I would be assuming it'd be close to around about 9 miles. So therefore, then that horizon could be between 4.5 to 5 miles away.
But we can do some math, right? So if it's 70 feet up to 5280 divided by 5 miles, we can work out what angle down that should be.
It's going to be less than 0.1 degrees or like 0.2 degrees or something.
Hey, can I share screen for a second now?
Yep. We're
not arguing with the math, Ruhif. Just so you know, you keep bringing up this math. We're not arguing.
We understand you guys will never argue mathematics. We understand.
Fair enough.
Okay.
That wasn't a compliment.
We want to, I know, but we want to see, I know, but anything to get you to agree, bro. I'm willing to almost get on my knees and bow to get past this bullshit. Okay, show us some demonstrations. Don't just show us a picture and say, see globe, numbers, globe, numbers, reality globe. Show us demonstrations of these claims y'all are making with this refraction, all this stuff you need
does
to
that
make
match
your
the
globe
globe?
work.
So
does this observation match the globe?
So everyone here can now look at that very far distant boat. Does anyone here think for 1 second that they're looking down to that boat or straight across to that boat? Are you going to be looking down at it, or are you looking straight across at it? Can you determine that the top of that boat is above your eyes?
You would need some. Again, I just say don't.
Out there, Ruhif, with your eyes, can you determine that is below your eyes or above your eyes?
We have precision instruments for doing that.
I don't give a shit about the precision instrument.
Of course you don't. That's why you're a flat earther. You do not give a shit about geometry.
Precision instruments are only made to be used like when it comes to leveling, no more than 50 meters when it comes to precision leveling.
50 meters? What the fuck are you talking about, dipshit?
I started to put that in my presentation. The president
50 meters.
Good.
What you don't want to do, Ruhif, is that you are looking straight across at that.
No, I'm not.
So you conceded though earlier that when we look through such an instrument, we are seeing something real that is there, that is a drop and being below horizontal. And you are not claiming, unless I'm mistaken, are you claiming that reality changes when we look through an instrument?
No. The measurement change. Like I get, dude, I already gave you an example of your own guy, Jesse Gordon, showing the horizon.
Without looking through the instrument, you don't have a fucking measurement, asshole. So the measurement can't change.
And Squim, Washington.
What a fucking
with
idiot.
Cold crystal
Hey, Dan.
clear air.
Glad you made it.
Half of them are above level, and the other half are below level. I don't care about. You can make excuse, blah blah blah. Bro, it's going to move around. When you get
an important question.
Get away from the surface.
This is my ending thing is when you get that technical with the measurements and you get these instruments, you're going to get varying.
Okay,
period.
Let me jump in on that real quick though, because so you say that there's a variability in the measurement. So are you familiar with the difference between a systematic and a random variation when it comes to measurement?
Schoolless, man. Schoolless. You're the
okay. All right. I just curious. So if you're shooting at the range and you're consistently low on the target, that is a systematic variation. If you're shooting at the range and your spread is greater than what you expect, but it's all over the target, that is considered a random variation, roughly speaking. Analogy, it may not be one-to-one with ballistics, but are you alleging that in this case that these optical effects as it relates to the horizon and how far we can see are systematic or random in your world?
I'd say it's totally random. I'd say, and here's the thing, in my demonstrations, let me ask you a question. In my demonstrations, would you agree that all three of them, when we lowered down into the density gradient, the way y'all claim refraction works, light bending down, would you agree that everything compressed down to the horizon as we lowered the camera? Would you agree with what you see with your eyes?
What do you mean
by
by
a huge amount of compression? Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. And so it's lowering toward the horizon, right? As we go down, the horizon doesn't come up. Okay. In any of these examples, the objects go down. So that's demonstrable reality. I'll give you three examples. Can you give me one of light doing what y'all claim, of a laser bending down, or doing whatever it is y'all claim? Don't show reality and say Steve Lowe.
Fish tank bending down.
He showed you, dipshit.
Over.
Did you not fucking watch? See those lines going across and they were going down? You didn't fucking see that?
Terrestrial experiment over the actual Earth over long distance.
Yeah, we've measured terrestrial refraction from time lapses.
But have you got any demonstration of the light bending down?
Yes.
They're just plain. They're just looking. They're showing measurements in reality.
I can pull up the paper. I have a paper right here. Thanks. Gleam sent it to me, actually. He's done
hospital one.
Shout out to Gleam.
Hospital in Ohio.
Yeah, the hospital one, right?
Yeah.
So you got one.
Hospital in Ohio? Which one? Grant? Fucking OSU Medical?
I'm
a
flat earther.
St. John's?
This specifically, though.
I used to live in Ohio. Columbus.
We have other demonstrations, but this gets to a core issue.
Sorry, Plain Reality was trying to cut in.
Sorry.
Just with a quick question.
Pictures of that hospital, supposedly?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you
I can pull it up. Yeah, definitely. But
continue. Sorry about that.
I have a few quantifications of refraction using time lapse. But I guess what the key question is here.
I mean, do they honestly think just what they see and what they think, just their opinion, is going to fucking change 2,500 years of measurements?
And I can share my screen on my browser.
I don't understand.
The key question is, do you also agree with Brian that this is a non-systematic effect?
As in
it varies. It varies up and down. There's not a systematic.
He sounds like Baldrick. He fucking sounds like Baldrick. Listen to him.
Effect due to what the optical effects that you're discussing as it pertains to refraction. And let's say at the surface.
Unless we're getting funky stuff actually really going on with the horizon is always generally at your approximate eye level. So the horizon Horizon will always be at your perceivable eye level.
There you go.
Oh, very good shot, my lord. Thank you, Warren.
Let's try to find one where he's talking.
You don't know what a rotten borough is, do you, sir? No. So what was the chicken impression in Adolf? Well...
Rang, my lord.
Meet the new Member of Parliament for Dummy on the Road.
But he's an absolute arsehead.
Precisely so. Our slogan shall be, a rotten candidate for a rotten borough. Warwick, I want you to go back to your kitchen sink, you see, and prepare for government.
He looks kind of like him, too.
Right, now all we have to do is fill in this MP application form. Name, Baldrick. First name?
I'm not sure.
I mean, he even looks like him.
When we start to see the horizon really going up, and we never see the horizon actually going down, we always see the horizon going up. Right? The horizon never, well, I shouldn't say never. Okay, the horizon can appear to drop slightly, but in general, it will always come to your eye level or approximate eye level.
But is that a systematic or a random variation with the atmosphere?
I would say that on average.
Oh, okay. Thanks, George.
The horizon is generally in.
Never used one. Don't know the rules on them. I just thought that 50 meters seemed like pretty short distance.
Around about same position, no matter whether or not it is 3 miles from you or whether it is 20 miles from you, the horizon looks to be in the same position when you're at the same.
With your eyes, right?
I mean, he sounds exactly like Baldrick.
Your eyes.
With your eyes, yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
Not a precision instrument.
It's amazing.
I meant random meaning you go higher, it's going to move. You go lower if it's foggy outside. If it's cold, I mean, it's all the conditions are random. But yeah, I'll agree with him on the eye level. The horizon is going to be based on your eye level. It's going to be always relative to your eye. Is that fair to say?
So here I have a graph at the surface.
It's relative to your altitude.
Surface.
I mean, the direction you look is relative to your eye. It's relative to the altitude you're at.
And this is for the hospital example with time lapse. So do you see the 0 line on this chart?
Yeah, but what are they calling 0? Show us the actual observation.
Okay, so they
the fourth line?
But hold on. Why? But your standard of evidence is that it's roughly eye level. So why are you suddenly demanding precision in these measurements when you have not provided those?
I'm not demanding precision.
Nobody's demanding precision.
Observation.
So hold on, but if this is measured to be a fixed level, what objection do you have to the data as I'm presenting it? Do you think that we ought to use an instrument to measure these things precisely at a particular level?
But what if they got zeroed off as a level? Like,
well,
what,
that's
I mean,
what we have to ask.
What if they got zeroed off as the 0 point?
Well, that's what
they're just eyeballing it, right? They're just eyeballing it.
Yeah. Do you think that they just gathered this data with their eyes?
That's what I'm saying. Let us see the actual observation.
Well, why do you care?
Can y'all show us one where you know the distance
what
of
the
the horizon?
observation is?
Yeah, but why do you care? Because you don't seem to think that it's required to use precision tools to make these sorts of observations.
Dude, you've got a model, bro. A model, okay? You've got this slider scale of refraction you could use to where you could see your own ass in a telescope if it was the right conditions.
I never said that.
And that's not a model, that's a calculator. The model is the measurement of everything, man. They still don't even know what a model is.
But still, that's part of your model, okay? So
maybe you got confused. Maybe you got
confused. I'm referring to Heath Carmody, man.
Maybe you got confused with the wrong Uranus there. But the point being,
the actual observation.
You
have the actual observation. Can we see the actual observation?
Yeah, showing the photos and then go back to the graph, I think.
Yeah.
Just to satisfy.
I just wanted to point out for the sake of the audience that your immediate thought when looking at this graph was where is the 0 line? but you have not provided a measurement of zero line with any precision tool in any of your observations.
I've already described, bro. I've already told you with your own guide for the third time that when he went out there in crystal clear conditions, nice cool air, he showed horizons above zero and below zero. So you keep going on and on, bro. Your own guide.
What is the explanation of that, Brian?
Oh my God.
And I'm showing you here.
Hang on.
I'm showing.
Oh my God.
Why are we stuck
Sorry, I'm
on
having issues with my screen share. Can you share this one, Ruhif?
And
Can
Plain,
can I
can you
talk to
pull up
Brian,
them
right?
laser-
Oh, this is weird, man. Nobody can share their own shit. They have to have someone else share it. What the fuck? If nobody can share their own shit, how are they sharing other people's shit? Hey, Casual.
Before we're done, can you pull up them lasers, Plain?
Well, what is the difference between lasers and the light from the lights at the hospital?
I just want to see something in reality, man.
This isn't reality. I can provide the
I'm
link. Hold on, I'll
charts
just put
and
it in
graphs.
the,
But let
I
me
can put
see
it
it.
in the Zoom chat here, so
Why I
it's easy.
want to see the actual observation.
Well, I can show you the actual observation, but I just wanted to point out for the sake of the audience that your immediate question was, where is the zero line, implying a
what I'm
measurement
wondering,
of the 0 point. And,
when
and
I
you haven't
see the
provided that
observation,
in
I
your
will explain to you why I'm asking that.
Okay, I provided the link. Sorry, my screen share was glitching out. Let me try to refresh it for you.
No worries there. And yeah, I'll just let you know, we got 10 minutes left of the open discussion, and then I'll check in with you guys if you need to take a break. So another 10 minutes, well, 9 minutes, I should say, about now of the open discussion. And then, like I said, I'll check in with you guys. And if you want to carry on, we will. If not, then get your super chats in, everybody, because we will move into super chats if our speakers feel like they've gotten to hammer out all that they want to on this occasion. So go ahead there, Lucas, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, my screen share is just completely glitching out.
You want me to do it? Hang on.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna get it from the other side. That's great. We're using the buddy system a bit tonight here, guys. So Playing Reality helped out Brian get his presentation up there and running. That's no problem. We try to keep it friendly and lively here at Modern Day Debate. We hope you're having fun as well in the live chat. Definitely, if you haven't participated in our poll yet, I have that up there so far, and I'll let our speakers know the result because we are up and running on the screen share there. So right now, the Earth is a globe. So right now we have 61% that have voted for the globe. 25% of our audience have voted for flat, and then 14%.
I voted first.
Have voted for a loaf of bread, so they're not here to play by the rules. Okay, so we'll just let them be. All right, go ahead when you're ready.
All right. So they set up a camera. Oops,
Yeah, go
sorry.
ahead.
They
No,
set
you
up a
go ahead.
camera in the Air Force Institute of Technology, pointed it across at a hospital. Was it 10 miles or something like that? 12 kilometers. There you go. And basically did a time lapse over a week or two or something, and then analyze the images to see how much they shifted up and down relatively, and correlating that with, nighttime, daytime, weather, that sort of
How was
stuff.
the camera?
Say again?
How high was the camera?
Don't know. Yeah. You can look that up on the internet if you want. Where are the actual photos? Where are the photos? Hang on.
I think it's the first link. I think this is a separate paper. If you look at the first one I saw, and it's 7:18 US time. But the point, I'm trying to get at 2 points here. The first one is that we've sort of got from Brian that it's a random variation in the horizon position.
I explained that.
Yeah. But the problem that I have with that is that in order for things to consistently disappear predictably in one direction on a flat plane, it would have to be a systematic effect.
Well, you asked me about the horizon. Okay. You asked me about the horizon.
Can we just quickly get through these pictures and then I'll share screen for a second?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, pictures.
That's it?
And Lucas had the other one.
The first link I sent.
Go globe.
Especially days
Lucas.
of
All
bigger
right.
pictures.
I was just
It's in
saying.
the Zoom chat, yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, I think, if I look back on this, I do think the Globe side has had a bit more screen share time. Maybe I'll be corrected about that in the live chat. But let's go ahead and hand it over to Plain Reality, and while you guys get your papers in order there, if you guys don't mind. So I'm going to
right,
stop
there you
the
go.
screen share, if that's all right.
Cool. Anyway, 2 photos there. Done. Thank you.
Okay. Let's head it over to Plane Reality. So go ahead when you're ready.
Okay.
You're up and running.
All right. No worries. So, can you guys see all this? Is that sharing? No.
You've gone very quiet.
Yeah, I was just saying.
Yeah, I see it. I see it, but I can barely hear you playing.
Yeah, your
Okay,
mic
can
is
you hear
really
me?
low now.
Can you hear me or not?
Yep, there you are.
Yeah,
Yeah, sorry, I was away from the mic a little bit. What's going on here?
yeah, you might have to get a little more friendly with it. No worries. Yeah, we're looking at a black screen.
Yeah, why are you being a dick?
Oh, one
Sharing a
thing.
video.
No. Oh, hold on. Okay, I know why it's a black screen.
No worries.
Because it's probably.
No worries. We've had harder technical difficulties on Modern Day Debate.
Oh, yeah.
A second, and then I will share again. Oh, because I'm in Zoom Workplace. How do I get into Zoom Workplace?
Zoom
it different?
Workplace? No, it's the same thing now. It's all the same now. Just try doing a reshare there from the Zoom.
My desktop.
Try again.
Why is my desktop?
I think that black screen's better than what they presented playing. There you are.
Oh wow! Now you behave. We've been doing pretty good, right? Yeah, you're throwing all the shade. What's going on? No,
Love you, Brian.
it's all fun. Let's carry on there, guys. So yeah, you're up and running. It looks like it's working. Yep. Go ahead when you're ready.
So let's have a look here. Now, what we've got, see this little yellow buoy? Can you see that little yellow dot in the middle there?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's have a look as we go through different days. See how the little yellow dot is now right on the horizon?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because we have
Yes, refraction makes shit look different, man. You're not proving anything with this.
that inferior mirage that's come closer to us, that's brought the horizon closer to us. See, on this day, we have a lot of compression going on there. You know, everything got a little bit of stretching going on as well this day here. See that little yellow buoy, right? So now we'll flick back. We've got here the yellow buoy right on the horizon.
It's always higher with that inferior mirage, ain't it?
And the moment, because what's actually going on is because that horizon is now coming closer to you, and it is always going to be at your perceived eye level. Now what you're getting is you're getting everything in the distance.
Does that look like it's at your perceived eye level? Dipshit. Here's your perceived eye level. What the fuck are you talking about?
Being hidden at a much greater rate.
I mean,
Now,
there's a lot off here, dude.
I have to work my way towards the 19th of October, 19th of September. It's the 19th of September. Sorry. So as we flick through, we see that whenever the horizon is changing slightly to where this buoy is, see how we can't see the buoy at the moment? We can't see it. Look at how much is missing, right? No, actually, sorry, the buoy just rocked up on the 12th of October. So the buoy in this position on my other observation of the jetty that's been there the whole time. But see how we get this complete different amount of being revealed all the time. Okay, so this is actually the horizon moving. The horizon is moving position. At the moment, I can guarantee you that if I was to go to the 30th of September, so let's get out of this one. Just as an example, I'll go to the 30th of September.
I mean, he doesn't have an argument. He just got, well, the horizon moves. That's it. That's his entire fucking argument.
In here. Right.
I mean, does he think that if he says the same thing enough times that people are just going to become flat earthers? The fuck?
Look at that.
Let's just flick down to the 30th of September. Right, guys? And what we're going to see is we're going to see that buoy really close to the horizon. Whoop, okay. 30th of September.
It's a fucking pointless argument.
Right. And now what we see.
No one argues that refraction doesn't happen.
Is the buoy really close to the horizon. And whenever we have this horizon closer to us, it hides more in the distance. Okay, I can show you hundreds of examples of this. There's no way you'd ever be able to debunk this because you're not going to be able to get around the actual observation.
Nobody's arguing against you, dude.
every single time the horizon
Everything we see is explainable and predictable by the heliocentric model of refraction.
is brought closer to you, it hides more in the distance. When the horizon is further from you, clearly we see further. Right? So I could go to any observation. Let's just go to another day here. Let's go to a day where we have, okay, so we can see here the horizon, the 27th of September. The horizon is definitely past that buoy now. It's not all the way to the shore on this day. And now let's get out of here. We'll go to the 27th of September, back in the other one.
When you say debunk it, you haven't provided an explanation for how this happens on flat Earth. I asked for
You're
geometry.
asking for mathematics and all this stuff. He's showing you. I mean, how do you put numbers to that? With
This
all
is
you
a
do is
this is a
scale.
geometry.
I just showed you an example of putting numbers to it. There's that
making
paper that-
accurate
that-
measurements.
Yeah,
Right.
and the other thing that I'm noting
Because
here is
what they're doing is what you've got to think is that what's going on there is actually a reification fallacy, right? What they-
reification fallacy.
Please
No, it's not.
explain what a reification fallacy is.
Textbook.
Well, because basically what they've done is they're assuming that they're on a globe, right? So therefore
Exactly.
then if
Where
you
did they
can't-
assume that?
Not assuming that.
Everything y'all claim, you're assuming it. You're saying, look, see,
Okay,
here,
let's
look
go
at
back.
this
Let's go
photo.
back to my
hold
presentation.
on, let me,
So how is what you're presenting not a reification fallacy? Because you assume that's flat. What the fuck are you talking about? Shut up and sit the fuck down.
let me finish explaining for a second. So then if all of a sudden you can't see something, their assumption is that it is below the curve of the Earth. That's their assumption.
No, that's measured. We've measured the Earth, asshole.
Where
Not an
in the
assumption.
paper? Where in the
It's
paper?
an explanation.
Where in the paper that I mentioned that quantified the phenomena here? Were they measuring the obstruction of the building? And where were they assuming a globe? Be specific.
They're already assuming the globe
Where?
just by being
Speak with specificity.
alive, right? Everyone already.
So,
Do you assume the globe?
There's already an assumption of the globe. Are you telling me that not one of them believes in the globe?
Where was your claim of an assumption of a globe relative to the study that was used to quantify exactly what you're talking about here and showed it to be a non-systematic effect?
What you're doing is you're reifying what they did into a globe.
I don't care about reifying.
They're
Answer
just-
the
they're
question.
just showing-
Where
What they're
did
saying,
they assume?
they're saying that it dropped below zero. It didn't drop below zero.
Where did they? No, you're misunderstanding. They're not measuring the obstruction. They're measuring the relative height of the building. So
Okay.
where did they assume that there was a globe in order to measure the relative height? As
This
a
is why I
function?
wanted to see the pictures so we could actually see how the
He can't answer it. He's just gonna show more pictures.
entire scene looked, not just the data. We need
So
to
are
see
you
how
claiming?
the
Are you
whole scene
claiming?
looked.
I can find the supplement for you. I'm sure I can track that data down.
Please don't show us a graph.
I know,
I've got the
it's
graph
scary,
ready for you,
it's scary,
Brian.
but-
It's ready.
but let
I
me
don't
ask
want to cut you
another
guys
question
off. I do
because-
want to let you know we did just finish 15 minutes of open discussion, so you guys are more than welcome to
Oh,
carry
shit.
on. I've got lots of time, but I do want to, just out of respect for our speakers, just once again say thank you, for your tenacity to come out to Modern Day Debate and have this discussion. And if you need to step out for a minute, use the washroom, grab yourself a drink. Now would be the time to do it. I'll do some quick housekeeping. Yeah, speak now or forever hold your pee there, fellas. All right. So, sorry, go ahead.
So I think that there's one really important point that we haven't covered at all. This presentation has kind of predictably gone to just optics and just observations thereof. Do either you or Brian have
Can we see
any?
that word honestly?
Do either you or Brian have any substantive criticism to the three independent pieces of evidence that I presented, each of which falsify a flat Earth model?
How
And
would it be falsified anything, man? I mean,
Do you want me to remind you? The
wait,
three.
we've all agreed that stuff moves around in the distance.
No, but we're not talking optics anymore. If you recall, my presentation was entirely non-optical.
Yeah,
So
for
how
your
did you-
presentation, you'd have to talk to people more like Shane St. Pierre or Alan or Whitsitt, right? Because
Yeah.
that's
Those guys are idiots, man. Why would you want to talk to them?
that's not what I'm going to be going on about. That's not.
Okay, so just to get on record.
So I can't rebut your points there. Okay, You're going to need someone who actually knows what they're talking about within that field to be able to rebut your point, and that's not me.
Well, let me refer him to one other person too. I showed him. I sent him a link the other day to a flat Earth model, a program showing refraction over a plane.
And we're not talking about refraction.
That was Heath Carmody. Yeah, but if you're dealing with anything any measurements using any kind of optics or any kind of instruments, then you're going to have to include refraction.
Yeah, but nothing I presented. Nothing I presented uses refraction near the surface.
Why can't you just show me a laser bending down? If we could show you 5 of them,
I showed you.
Everyone we've ever looked at from the side or a partial side-on view, every single one of them is bending up. Can you please show me one bending down? Because to even prove any of this, you've got to show me.
I showed you light bending up. I showed you that in the paper that we just referenced. But my point here is that I think it's important. So Plain Reality has confirmed he has no rebuttal to any of the 3 independent pieces of evidence that I presented that falsify flat Earth. Brian,
I didn't say there is no rebuttal. I didn't say that there is no rebuttal. I said that is not.
Okay. I didn't say that either, though. I don't think. I said you do not have one. Brian, do you have a
falsified flat Earth, man? You have not falsified.
Do you have a response? Do you have a response? Would you like me to reshare
my response is, please show me something in reality that falsifies flat Earth. You're just showing.
I did.
How did it falsify flat Earth?
I showed you. You can drive across the Pontchartrain Causeway.
We've shown these fuckers a mountain of evidence, and they just fucking for all of it.
You can collect GPS data.
That's your proof. That you can drive across the causeway.
Hold on, let me finish. You drive across the causeway. You drive across the causeway. Do you agree that water finds its level?
Water's flat, bro.
No.
Yeah, and the causeway's flat.
Do you agree?
And the causeway's flat.
Do you agree that water finds its level?
Demonstration's king, dude. Shout out to Taylor and the Pontchartrain.
Why don't you want to answer this question?
She shows a 24-mile flat bridge.
Hold on. But you're not answering my question. Do you agree that water finds its level?
Water's flat.
No, you didn't answer my question. Do you agree, yes or no, that water finds its level?
I say that flat and level are synonyms.
So is that a yes?
You can't fucking answer.
Or no?
What a doofus.
Water finds it's flat. Yeah, it finds its level.
It's just odd that I can't get
No, I'm just joking, dude. It finds its level. Go ahead.
Okay. So therefore, if we drive across the causeway at an equal elevation, and I've subsetted the data to remove the bridges, we can redo the analysis with the bridges if you'd like. That's purely just to have a time series that is completely at equal elevation. If I drive across the causeway at equal elevation, on a flat Earth, is it possible to measure a difference or is it possible that all of the points collected will be at a constant distance from the center of the equatorial plane?
Center of the equatorial plane? What are you talking about? So these measurements you're referring to are coming from the center? Are they coming from the center of something, or are they just coming from timed light and time signal?
They're equidistant from a single point, right? They're equidistant from a single point.
Single
How does
point
that happen on a flat
in
Earth?
the middle of a plane, right?
When you're ready.
Doesn't matter where that single point is. It is in the middle of the Earth.
No, let me show you it again.
You're using flat Earth to try and prove your globe, bro. I gotta speak up on that.
So there's 2 different things I'm showing here. The first
You're
one
not showing reality, bro.
This is
Come on,
demonstrable
These are
reality.
measurements in reality, Brian.
They're measurements in reality. So
Show us
again,
the bridge, man.
so I have photos of the bridge. Okay, so you want to see the bridge? I'll show you the bridge. So 1 second. I can show you it on. This is just the analysis that I did personally.
Okay, so you agree that these measurements you're showing are coming from signals that are timed, right? Timed light, not from the middle of Earth, right?
So the way that it works, the ECEF coordinate frame is centered at the equatorial plane, and then you use
equatorial what?
The equatorial plane.
So you're literally using a plane to try and prove a globe. Welcome to flat Earth, bro.
Jesus fucking Christ! Shut the fuck up, dipshit. Shut the fuck up and learn, asshole.
Okay, so
Brian,
do you accept?
don't do
Do you
that,
accept, Brian? Do you accept the coordinate system at the center of the equatorial plane as a valid system of measurement of
I
coordinates.
accept that is a model that yeah, we can model it out like that. Obviously,
great.
they've done it.
Do you accept that GPS provides precision to sub-meter accuracy?
Sure, but it doesn't prove the coordinate system.
Okay, that's fine. We're
Or
in
the
agreement so far.
datum.
So we're in agreement so far. Do you agree? And I'll change one word here. Do you agree that GPS is based on trilateration to moving platforms above the surface of the Earth?
You say they're moving. How fast are they moving? Just out of
The Doppler shift of the signal shows 8,000 miles per hour.
so they're moving 8,000 miles per hour. Because when I did the math, they should have been going like over 9,000 miles per hour. But that's a whole different discussion.
Well, let's not get into the technical.
So hold on. So these satellites are these satellites
Never cut
level?
satellites.
Are these satellites level with each other? When I say level, I mean not curved. When you say
Well-
level, do you mean not curved?
So do you want to get into the specifics of the kinematics of the GPS constellation?
Can
or do
you
want to
show
talk
me
about
the data? Can you show me how the program? I mean, because this is classified information. We can't get our hands on the
It's not classified information at
GPS.
all.
I'm not talking about the signals, Ruif. I'm talking about the data, the base program.
The ephemeris is fully public. It's the ephemeris that is computed. The signal is fully public.
Can you ever answer a question directly?
Is open
You know what I'm
source.
talking
Yes, I'm answering your question. All of this is open source, Brian. You can.
Okay, so are the satellites doing these measurements? Are they level with each other? Up above us. You said they're
They-
up
they
above us,
move-
moving 8,000
they
miles per
move
hour.
and they're
Are
in
they
six-
level with each other?
They're in
And,
6
can you
orbital
stop
planes.
sharing?
Yeah.
So wouldn't it depend on whether they're doing circuits and they're level above us?
I'm trying to
over,
help. I'm
over
trying-
the
I'm
equatorial
trying to-
plane, over the equatorial plane, or if they're doing some kind of orbit and free falling like you claim, wouldn't that matter?
So, do you want to talk about the kinematics of satellites, or do you want to talk, or do you want to
I just want you to
agree?
answer my question, man. That's all.
Okay, but this-
bro. It's
I'm
like
asking-
pulling teeth, dude. It's like
I mean,
pulling teeth. man.
we can go there, but I don't think it's where you want to go. I'd rather talk about the.
How
direct
are we going to
measurements.
gain ground, man, if you won't answer questions?
Okay, all right, fine. So we can talk about the specifics of GPS and trilateration then.
Oh, brother.
All right.
Okay.
So here's why boats disappear, guys.
Go ahead there.
The same thing happens on our side of the horizon as what happens on the opposite side of the horizon.
Show us the geometry. That was
Yeah.
the email that I sent 4 days ago. Show the geometry of bottom-up obstruction. And I made a prediction. No one's going to show it.
Here's bottom
Nope, he hasn't. No, you're not showing geometry, dipshit.
bottom-up obstruction. Bottom-up obstruction as
So-
the boat comes towards us is identical to the bottom-up obstruction as the boat goes away from us.
So
It's
I
the
want to
same.
clarify that. How do you know
I
it's
don't need to model it. I'm showing
Yes, you do. That was the challenge, dumb fuck.
you.
What's
in
the explanation
real
then?
life.
I
don't
give you
need
3
to model.
examples in my
The
demo.
explanation is that I'm 20 foot above the surface. This sailing boat is probably closer to about 15 feet. When the sailing boat is on or very close to the horizon, it is now at my approximate eye level or slightly below because it is just below the horizon. Now, as it gets closer to me, prospectively, the bottom of the boat is going to get lower and lower and lower. And as it does, it is also dropping.
But prospectively, it won't be cut off, dumb fuck. Prospectively, you'd still see the whole fucking boat.
How?
Horizon.
Hold on. Can you just clarify
What do you
something?
mean, how?
Because in
Because
your-
that's just
What
the
is
way perspective
blocking?
goes.
there's
What?
two
No, it's
components
not.
here.
No, it's not.
There's
Yeah,
two
it is.
components here. There's two components here.
Everything that is
All right, let's
close
let
to
plain
you
reality
will appear lower.
finish up
Everything
here.
that is close to you will appear lower, right?
Yeah, as it goes further into the distance, it gets higher.
Further into the distance, it gets higher. Now,
Just a simpleton. That's all he has. Just repeating the same fucking thing over and over again.
Right.
Yeah. So
And he thinks that because he zoomed in on the boat, so that the closer one, so they're equal, and it goes down, just like the one closer to, just like when it gets closer to us, it moves down in our vision. He thinks it's just the horizon, just that point in space blocks the bottom part of it.
I
So
don't
at
really
what
care.
point does it then
really
go
care
down
about-
again?
Is that going to
Don't
happen
care
forever,
about-
Rufus? Can it keep getting higher and higher and higher? Or does it have to hit a point where it planes off?
So sorry, I really
zero.
want to let Plain Reality wrap up his point here with his screen
This
share.
isn't
So
for
let's just
Ruhif.
He doesn't have a fucking point, Ryan.
let him. Let's give him some space to make his example here, and then for sure we'll hand you the floor to respond. So go ahead there, Plain.
Yeah, this isn't for Ruhif. This is for everyone else watching. You can clearly see the way that the obstruction is happening, identical on my side of the horizon as what happens on the opposite side of the horizon.
Right. People on the opposite side of the horizon are going to see the boat when it's further away obstructed, because that's how a fucking globe works, moron. On a flat earth, there's nothing to block your view.
Someone like Ruhif is never
It's flat, right? Flat things can't block your view if you're above them.
going to be convinced of this because he doesn't really care about what's
No,
going
because
on
it's
in technology.
bullshit, Plain Reality.
Ah,
So
yeah.
there's
okay.
an important
And we
thing
just
on that slide.
We look at
There's
it
an
and it
important
is
thing on that slide.
identical.
I'd like to respond to this now.
Let him
Yeah.
finish.
Yeah.
Let him finish.
Please
man.
let me respond.
All right.
You say on that slide, perspective through refraction, and then you
Yep.
mentioned the Rayleigh criterion. Can you explain to the audience whether perspective, refraction, and the Rayleigh criterion are the same, or if they're different concepts? And if so, can you quickly explain in one sentence each of those concepts?
What? I think just let him finish
Perspective
that.
is the way that everything appears to you. Everything ramps up as everything converges to the horizon. Okay, so that is the way perspective works. Everything will converge to the horizon.
But you didn't
Some
answer my
great-
question. You didn't even attempt to answer. So what is
I haven't
there a
finished.
difference between perspective, refraction, and the Rayleigh criterion? Yes or no?
There is a difference between them.
Okay, what is the difference?
Well, the Rayleigh's criterion is about my understanding of it is how you see things more in the distance, or not necessarily in the distance, but how objects will eventually become one the further they get away from you.
Just
So you-
obfuscate, man.
That's
you-
actually
you-
a great, that's a good
I know, but why would you
explanation.
ask that question, man? Respond to
because-
what
Because you're talking about vision. You're talking about things getting further and further away, dumb fuck. That's part of it.
he just presented.
be able to
I am
understand.
working on it. I'm working on it. So,
All right.
but you're
You won't
using
be able to
terms here, and I think it's important to clarify the terms. So then can you clarify the difference between, can you define then refraction and perspective similarly?
Refraction is the way that light moves through a medium.
Okay, and then what is perspective?
Perspective is how perspective is basically how we see the world, right? Perspective is how each object will look in front of you. So,
Okay. Okay.
everything convergence.
so everything
which-
will appear to rise in your vision the further it gets away from you. That's on the ground, and everything that is above your eye level will drop down towards your eye level.
Does it
Right.
have a-
You got it
well,
right. You got
does
it
it- you actually did a good job there, but I think it's the combination that's.
What's the
giving us-
point in all that, though? Get to the point, man.
The point is, which one of those three things is explaining a systematic phenomena?
There's no one
causes-
thing, bro. Oh my God, are you
Hold on,
listening
hold on.
to
Let me ask
anything
the
we're
question
saying,
then.
bro?
Let me ask the
There's
question.
no one thing,
Is
though.
there- so which of those three things, because we've agreed those are separate concepts, and I think it's just important for the audience because your slide says perspective through refraction. And
Would you
I
like me
think
to explain
there's
why I say that?
equivocation happening here. So
Do you explain why I say that? Because everything that we see in perspective. Everything is perspective.
so is your claim that a
So here,
combination?
on slide number 1, when we see that little point number 1, perspectively, that looks like it's higher in our vision. Number 10 is now the bottom of that boat is lower in our vision. That's perspective.
Okay,
right?
so your claim is, so let's work through this specifically. So in order for an object to disappear differentially in one direction, perspective would have to be asymmetric, yes?
In what way? What do you mean?
So in
Asymmetric.
order for the bottom of an object to disappear faster than the top and appear to go over something, because in your view, there's no geometric
Just
horizon.
obfuscate,
There-
dude.
there's
You're
an
just wasting
apparent.
time, dude. Wasting time.
I'm
So
trying to get to
basically-
the core of your optical
Basically, the
argument.
whole thing, and this is why someone like Ruhif will fight to the death about the horizon rising to your eye, because the horizon is the furthest part of the surface that you can see.
Yes.
Right? So once
Yes, because it's the tangent point of the spherical Earth. Hey, RT.
Something reaches the horizon, it now does the opposite and it drops in your vision.
Right, because it's going over the curvature of the Earth. It's not flat, dumb fuck. It could never do that on a flat Earth.
Right?
Always.
So they're doing the exact same thing prospectively. If we had someone else on the opposite side of the horizon for this yellow sailboat, if they were in the exact same position, they would be seeing what's happening on the right-hand side. They would see that sail getting lower and lower and lower.
But I don't think that.
Hold on.
Effectively,
This is
it's
my
just-
teammate trying to find common ground with y'all, because we could be showing you plenty of days where there's no blockage at all, and you couldn't just say the Earth doesn't curve today. We could be we're trying to be cordial and
Yeah, I understand that.
we
I
could see
understand.
days where there's absolutely no obstruction whatsoever. We could show you dozens and dozens of them. So anybody out there watching, don't think that we couldn't show days where there's zero obstruction and things just shrink to infinity. But
And what's your explanation, Brian?
Let me ask you though, then, because I just think it's not clear to me. It's not clear to me. You claim, Brian, a formula or some sort of basis on the Rayleigh criterion for a distance to horizon.
All right. Well, you get
So
the
that
feed. We'll
plain
go
reality
back to
is
our main
claiming
screen.
a combination of
no,
perspective.
he's not
and
claiming,
refraction.
he's demonstrating,
Okay,
man.
but for the
What we're
purposes
doing is
of
we're
this debate,
demonstrating.
for the
Y'all are
purpose-
making claims. We're showing you shit.
I showed you data collected from the causeway. Anyone can verify. The point here is, can perspective ever cause asymmetric compression by itself?
Will you ever see anything in the distance through just perspective, or the other two factors always going to play a part?
Let me give you an example.
You're trying to single out one of. It's
give you
like
an example
saying it's like, I don't know. Go ahead.
So I live in Lakewood, Colorado. From my balcony, there's about a 35-mile distance to the summit of Mount Blue Sky. Okay. Over that distance, there's a reduction in angular size and inability to resolve objects. That means that I can't see cars on the highway going to the top of that mountain. At night, though, I can clearly see the lights of cars from 35 miles a day every time they're coming down there. So my question to you is, what is the phenomena and how can you quantify the phenomena that causes a systematic disappearance close to the ground that doesn't occur above the ground?
So at night, no Earth curve. Is that what you're saying, basically? At night.
Oh, well, I'm looking from 5,000 feet, about 5,000 feet to 14,000 feet.
So no Earth curve?
You have a horizon?
According to
Is there a
optics,
horizon?
why is it different near the ground than it is up in the air for me?
Because the sun ain't beaming on the ground anymore. So what happens when the sun's out, which is ironically when surveyors tend to do their observations, is in midday. And so when we've demonstrated 1,000,000 times over, when the ground's hot, then you're going to have more refraction when you have a surface. We've done that by putting a light right in front of a camera, opening a garage door, letting in cold air, and watching basically the garage floor refract up and block the light right in front of people's face, just by letting in cold air. Another
Right, because you created a temperature, a pressure inversion. Yeah.
words, or you could heat up the surface. We've seen Globers try and act like they're demonstrating Earth curve on their driveway by pouring water on a steaming hot driveway and saying, look, all of a sudden we see the bottom. Yeah, it was a driveway. You should have seen the bottom in the first place. They're just proving a flat Earth. So when you got a hot surface, okay, you're going to have blockage. You're going to have more obstruction. You're going to have,
Okay, but you're not answering my question. So when I look 35 miles to the east from the east side of my building, I can't see any lights at that distance.
Can you please
So
show
what
us
is
this?
causing- Huh?
Can you please show us what you're talking about?
I can easily come back with demonstrations of this, but what I'm saying is
I've just
factual.
shown
So
you. It's
in
the
one
distance
direction.
to the horizon that determines what you can see beyond the horizon.
But my point is, why is
And
it
that changes
different?
daily. That changes
Why-
daily. It changes all
But
the time.
why is it different?
Change hourly.
What phenomena, what physical law is causing a difference near the ground than what is observed above the ground? Why
more
is it asymmetric?
You have more refraction lower to the ground.
So refraction is the cause of bottom-up obstruction?
Yes.
Refraction is the cause of where
No.
the horizon is in the. first place.
So there's a geometric and
I
apparent.
just
Wait,
demonstrated.
by horizon,
I just
but
showed you
what
that the horizon
causes-
can be close to you or further from you.
But what causes?
Wait,
actual
Lucas.
refraction?
Lucas, is refraction the reason we see further on some days?
Yes.
Like Black Swan Day? Is that why?
There's a difference between the
Going
apparent
back
and
to the main
geometric
screen.
horizon as a function of refraction, but that doesn't explain.
Okay, so you're saying
systematic-
that that's why we
but-
see further on certain days is due to refraction. So
Well,
we're
hold on,
telling
though,
you.
because-
Oh my God!
hold on,
You're trying to
because
pin
now
it
we get
down
to
to
the-
one thing that. Go ahead.
So I'm saying that there's we observe a systematic effect.
God, what a
that is
dumb
bottom-up
fuck.
obstruction that is asymmetric. The bottom disappears faster than the top.
Well, I mean, it's asymmetric once it gets to the horizon. Anything once it gets to the horizon, then the drop rate is what I would say is probably accurate, right? So the actual drop rate happens, but the distance to that horizon changes drastically every day. It can change drastically from hour to hour, right?
Yeah,
so
but
you
my
can literally
point
have a
is
horizon at 3
you're-
miles away. Yeah, okay, wait a minute. Listen to this
Yeah,
for a
go
second.
for it. Yeah, sorry.
So when I just showed you those observations before, when we had, and I can show you that landmass, I can show it completely hidden, right? So on the day when that's completely hidden, if you have because that's about 150 feet to hide those houses and everything in that distance. If you had a ship and you put a ship right in there, like one of the biggest to big, about 130 foot tall ship, if that was sitting right next to that land, you would not see it at all. But then on the
Why not?
opposite day when I showed you, because it's inside the inferior mirage behind.
For a day when there's no inferior
Right.
mirage.
Okay,
what
you
is
want me to show
what
you
is
a day when-
blocking?
Same thing, refraction. It's the refracted horizon that's been brought closer to you. You want me to show you that to you?
So I want
my
an
question- Show you a
explanation.
day with no inferior
of-
mirage.
I want an
So-
explanation of what is blocking the boat.
Yeah.
The
Show a
horizon.
model
I think
or
that you said-
geometry.
you said something there.
You just answered
The
what
distance
is
of the horizon that has
allowing
been
us to
brought
see
closer
further.
to you.
Yeah. Do I have a line of sight from my eyes to the bottom of the boat?
That's irrelevant, man.
But that's
Black
irrelevant.
Swan.
It's irrelevant.
All right.
It's completely irrelevant,
Brian.
man.
I think we're
Black
gonna
Swan.
let's hand the floor back over to Plain Reality. He's got his screen up and he's ready
That's irrelevant. Line of sight is irrelevant.
to.
Let me
Jesus fucking Christ, Brian.
I'll show you this quickly first, right? Because this was that,
Holy
this was the
shit.
actual boat observation. So here we
So you've got a
see-
mirage, right?
There's a mirage in the background there. Sorry, I can't
Yeah.
turn it down. Right.
I'm asking for an explanation when there's no inferior mirage.
Okay, no, but this doesn't matter. What I'm showing you here is that this was that day. So there was an inferior mirage that day, and now there should be zero missing here, right? There should be zero. There is no curvature here, and there should be nothing missing here. But when we have a horizon that has been brought to us, which is now closer to 3.6 miles away, is there a picture with the buoy? Just there. Anyway, the buoy is right on the horizon. 30 minutes later, it comes into view. So it doesn't matter about what's going on behind the horizon right now. Now we see this boat disappearing below the horizon, right?
Right. But you agree that that's an asymmetric
Bro,
effect.
what's hilarious is I literally just gave y'all an example, and I know y'all
Asymmetric,
both
once
seen
it
it,
goes
where a light
goes
disappears in
below
front of a camera, man, right in front of y'all's face, and y'all just say that it's all of a sudden relevant that it's line of sight over distance. Over distance, man. And you also just agreed that we see further on some days, like Black Swan, the reverse of that, because of refraction. Okay, it's just ridiculous, man.
But we're getting into the
Showed
key
something in an
thing.
inferior mirage too, Rihif. So don't try and say that you're not going to use an inferior.
I mean, Brian doesn't understand fucking refraction. And then he gets pissed off at everyone for what? For you not understanding shit?
Mirage as proof for your
He tries to victim shame everyone for him not understanding refraction.
globe, because you are.
I don't. No, I'm not. No, I acknowledge that inferior mirages can hide the bottom of things, but then you've got an inferior mirage. Or you should try and use
Well, they asking
observations.
a question about asymmetry.
Hang on. You should try and use observations that either don't have an inferior mirage or the size or the width of the inferior mirage is so small that it can't account for the amount of missing. Right? Completely acknowledge inferior mirages do hide things because there's a vanishing zone.
And the question here, though, is what is causing a systematic asymmetric effect?
Okay, on the garage
We
floor.
have no inferior mirage on this day.
I don't think you can hear me.
Yeah. What is
We have
blocking
no
my
inferior
view of the
mirage on
shore?
this day. The horizon, which has been brought closer to you.
Which is
The
water?
horizon has been brought closer to you. You have a horizon that is now being refracted in a closer position to you. When the horizon has brought closer to you.
But okay.
Is the horizon water?
Now
Yes.
look at.
Okay,
So
so
now the
how is water, which is below you,
How is the garage
blocking
floor
something
blocking the
above?
light, Ruif?
Because
Hold on, Plane. I just described to them a light right in front of a camera on a warehouse floor. Let in some cold air, it disappears. So the garage floor is blocking the light, Ruif. Why are you
that could
asking
be an
questions
inferior
like that?
mirage.
You're trying
That's
for a gotcha,
probably-
bro, and it's dishonest.
That's probably an inferior mirage. I haven't seen your footage, but it's probably an inferior mirage.
You've seen Pebbles on the Pond do it. You've seen
So
Sky
there's no
Free do it.
inferior
It's
mirage
Scott Free,
here. Now we can see the shore at 15 miles away.
Right, but when you can't see the shoreline, what is blocking it?
We have refraction of the water in front, which has brought the horizon closer to you.
Which way? Upwards refraction or downwards refraction?
It's upward refraction.
Okay, so then where is the inferior mirage if it's upward refraction?
You don't just have to have an inferior mirage for upward refraction.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You have to have something that defies the downward path of light.
Yes, you do.
No, you
All right,
don't.
let's let Brian in for a second here. So if you want to go ahead there, Brian.
We're giving examples, okay? Like I said, we've set the camera down on the warehouse floor right in front of a light that's right in front of a camera. We've done this with boats over lakes. We've done it with flashlights over perfectly still ponds. And we've seen these things disappear on flat surfaces. These guys have seen that. I don't know why. They're almost like wasting time. This
Well,
is
this is your thing that you wanted me to show, Brian.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
You hear the U.S. Standard Atmospheric Chart assumes that there is no water vapor, okay, which is unfortunate because water vapor gradients have the biggest effects on RF propagation.
Yeah, RF propagation.
Radio frequency propagation. That's what RF means, Brian.
Here
Not in the visual spectrum.
is more variable than temperature or density. And this is what they have to do for their globe model to work because light refracts up.
That's not light, Brian.
You guys keep saying that light refracts up.
Lasers bending upwards.
Yeah,
That's
once you get to microwave,
we
sorry.
never see it bending down, which is what would have to happen on a globe for us to see them in the first place. But we always see them bending up. There's several examples. This alone destroys a globe. Please give me one demonstration of a laser.
This alone destroys the globe. No, it doesn't, Brian.
Laser bending down.
I gave you lights bending down.
No, you got to show. Look, I just showed you on screen half a dozen examples of light literally refracting up right in front of our very eyes. All we're asking for is one.
And what were the refractive conditions for that time, Brian?
And if you could show me one, I would
I
really
showed
consider
you-
all
I
your
showed
claims.
you-
Until you
I
do,
showed you
bud,
an
it's just
entire
claims.
graph. I
We
showed
want
you
it on
an entire
the real
graph of
well.
observations in
We want
which
it-
exactly what you're requesting happened.
No, that wasn't like.
I mean, did you forget already, Brian? They already showed you that, man. They keep asking for evidence. We show them evidence, and they keep asking for it. Fuck, they're like goddamn children.
Like bending down.
It was
That was something being obstructed.
No,
I
it
just
wasn't.
showed you a whole bunch of obstructed.
You're misunderstanding what the graph said then, because this was showing a difference in the measured height due to optical effects in time lapse. I'm happy to go find the supplement.
Right?
I'm happy to go find the supplement. But here's the fundamental thing: you're claiming
You need to
that
show
there's
us.
a baseline. There's a baseline geometry, because what you just said to Ruhif is that the water is refracted, and that blocks your line of vision.
Once again, he didn't claim it. He showed it, bro. He showed it.
He hasn't given an explanation.
He showed it, bro. He showed it.
He hasn't modeled it.
Model it yourself, bro. You see his observation.
I have. If you have upwardly
I'm
bending
sorry,
light,
only a model is what's going
I mean, Brian just screams Florida man, doesn't he?
to make reality reality. Is that what you're saying? Only a model can make
No.
reality reality?
let's say we go out into the world, into reality, right? And we look at it and go,
Actually,
is this
let's pull up-
flat or is it a globe? We have to make predictions from both of those models and match them to reality. The
Yeah,
flat
his
Earth
Carmody's
predictions don't.
actual video does that.
Yep. Flat Earth predictions
Well,
don't
I
match.
guess
Flat Earth predictions don't match reality, man.
I just showed you specific
The sun could never set on a flat Earth.
data and can quantify it. I can go back and apply the same technique and estimate the refraction in your own images. The question I have for you is there has to be an underlying, do objects tend to be obstructed bottom up?
Let me say one last thing. One last thing. And this was Cape Elizabeth, the main surveyor, globe surveyor, went out and recreated the Alberuni experiment
Let me ask you a question. Okay, let me tell you a story.
over a couple weeks. And he did he did all the measurements over the days, and the globe radius predicted it was 27 million feet was supposed to be and he wound up getting 20 million. He was off by 7 million feet, and that's even worse. That's over 20%. So this is professional equipment. This is a surveyor who does it for a living, and he literally tried to recreate Alberuni, and so it wound up in between flat and globe. But he's using Euclidean geometry to show all this. He's using horizontal planes to do all this.
Alberuni is not a good method of getting the radius.
You want precision measurements, and there they are. Your own guy showed that he's off by over 20%. You act like
So it was between flat and a globe. Is that what you said, Brian? It was between flat and a globe? You mean between flat and a globe? So it was still a globe? It wasn't flat? Is that what you're saying, Brian?
these predictions match your
missed the
globe
point.
perfect, and they 100% do not match your globe.
You missed the point, Brian.
Idiot.
I'm all for accuracy and precision. That method, Alberuni's method, is not a good method for determining the radius of the Earth.
But if we look at the photographs, we see the horizon going up and down, and the boat's getting smaller.
Angles to the horizon. That's what we've been discussing. You've been all chirping about angles to the horizon, and they're 0.01, and all of a sudden, just when I make a demonstration or when I make an example, you just throw it out. Now all of a sudden, no, who cares about
it's not a good method for determining the radius.
Now you don't care about the precise measurements of the horizon, bro?
You misquoted me again, Brian. I said I'm all for accuracy and precision, but that method is not a good way to get the radius of the Earth.
So the angles to the horizon are irrelevant when it comes to what we're
Didn't
seeing.
say they were irrelevant. I said it's
Due to
not
what?
a good way to get the radius.
Mordwan,
To get
ask
the
your
radius,
partners the
you
same
look
questions.
up.
Ask them about the asymmetry
Wow.
questions. Ask them why. Ask them
So
the same question you asked us.
our position is the reason that there's a we
Hey, what
agree that
happened?
there's a variation in the
Oh.
apparent horizon,
There we
but
go.
the systematic effect that causes the asymmetry, where the bottom disappears and then the top disappears, is due to a physical curvature, which is geometric, which
False.
then manifests as an apparent
Actually,
horizon.
false.
I mean, you
Reifying-
can fallacy
reifying
like what,
model.
but here's
Reifying.
here comes
Begging
the
the
key.
question.
So,
You're
Brian,
begging the-
Brian,
the consequence.
Brian, you said you had no rebuttal to these slides. Brian said that he accepted the basis of this coordinate system. This is the raw data from a flight,
Cartesian.
and I can show you many such flights. If you accept the validity of this coordinate system, you must then also accept that this plane moved from one side of the equatorial plane to the other in a
Equatorial
curved-
what?
And it flew straight.
Equatorial what though?
No, it didn't fly. It flew in a curved arc.
Was it at
Demonstrably.
the same height the whole time?
So it was no, actually, it didn't maintain a constant altitude, but once it reached a cruising altitude, it does. But the point being here,
And the cruising
see
altitude
free
was-
space. You see in three-dimensional space an aircraft taking a curved path relative to the coordinate system that
I
Brian
didn't
said
see
he
any curve-
accepted.
Did you see the aircraft take a curved path?
I'm pulling the GPS data. This data was collected by Jesse Kozlowski. Anybody can go and replicate this. So saying
Didn't prove it,
deflecting to did you see it or not is a bit
Didn't
weak.
prove anything though, man.
That's right. I'm
It
sure
absolutely
that,
does. Here's what it proved.
No, it doesn't prove anything, man.
Well, you got to
So
prove
look-
that the satellite's over the equatorial plane. Once again,
you need to do?
I'm
You-
putting
I don't need
emphasis
to.
on the
So
word
all I've
plane.
demonstrated so far.
You
Yes, there's always a tsunami. There's always a tsunami. You can't ignore the tsunami.
You got to demonstrate they're curving around the globe.
That wave that always blocks stuff.
That's what the debate's about.
You
bud.
agree.
You need to debate Shane or Alan.
I will, but we're having a debate right now. It's relevant to the conversation. So we
but
move around the equatorial plane in a curve.
Anything, right? You're trying.
And by the way, I ordered this stuff. It's a nanopolymer adhesive. It's for high temperature build. It's a high temperature build plate glue for the printer. This shit works way too good. All right, Casual. Nice to see you again, man. Thanks for stopping in. But this stuff is fucking killer. I mean, I printed like normally, where I had, you know, a good layer adhesion and then let it go. I had to drop the nozzle, the Z height. I had to zero it, drop it further down because the first layer was sticking to the plate and I couldn't get it off without ripping it off of the model. So the bottom, several things don't have part of the bottom, the first layer, because it's stuck to the fucking print bed. But once I squished it down a little more and created a more cohesive first layer, then the second layer and third layer can stick to it. And then it came off the build plate. But fuck, this stuff is good shit. I mean, really good shit.
To discuss something with, because I'm not going to be able to discuss that. So you're trying to discuss that and then saying that because I can't debunk it, then it's true. So you need to discuss it with someone who can actually talk about that subject.
He's showing Cartesian coordinates, man. He's showing Cartesian coordinates and describing the equatorial plane. So
And
how's that
Brian,
proving
you agreed to the equatorial plane. Therefore, you must also agree in good faith that this track relative to the coordinate system of the equatorial plane is accurate, demonstrating a curvature of the Earth, which is also demonstrated just by plotting here the raw ECEF coordinates of movement across the causeway of a GPS, which, by the way, calculates a radius, which is on average over the causeway 6,372 kilometers.
Calculates. Can you define plane, please?
See, he wasn't traveling on, they weren't traveling along the plane, they were traveling through it, perpendicular to it, Brian.
Define
do you want me to define equatorial plane for
no,
you?
dude, he's sitting there saying plane over and over, acting like, see, it's measuring it on a plane, it's moving curve.
So do you accept?
You wanted a model, didn't you, Ruhi?
Yes, the equatorial plane divides two hemispheres of a sphere.
Didn't you want to see something that pulled it out?
I would like you guys to take. You've seen plenty of Globers take something like Blender, Povray, SketchUp, whatever.
Can I share screen then?
Yeah, show me how to make a prediction using flat Earth that shows bottom-up obstruction.
Can I share screen?
So just to ram it home though, real quick.
Sure. Last 10 seconds, and then we're going to pass the screenshot.
So
Last 10 seconds, we're going to hand the screen.
I'm demonstrating a non-optical physical measurement of curvature using GPS, and your only objection is to talk about the equatorial plane. The equatorial plane is defined as the plane that cuts through the equator of the Earth. So in order for this is a measurement this is a observation, a measurement of position that completely falsifies flat Earth.
No, it ain't. You're using a flat plane to do these measurements, man. You're even in your usage of words, you're describing as doing flat plane measurements and saying somehow that proves the globe. That's crazy, dude.
No, he didn't.
Let Plane do that last screen share real quick, man.
Look, you know that if you were talking to Alan about that, you'd get a completely different response here. So
yeah, we would start talking about the lack of kinematic equivalence to the GPS subconstellation, which necessitates spherical geometry for the trilateration. But I don't think you guys are ready to have that conversation.
No. You got to prove that the satellites are in orbit and not just going over our head level.
Love that.
We got to define level. We haven't even got past that. But can you let Plane share a screen? I've been asking for this.
I'm not hearing any cogent response from the opposing side, other than to deflect to this plane. But the movement relative to the plane is inconsistent with the flat Earth, and that is what I'm demonstrating here. The radius that is measured And the distance that is measured that varies by a very small amount as we move across the causeway would be impossible if the Earth were planar.
I don't think you understand, bro. I could map my front yard. I could add a radius to my front yard, level it out perfectly, and do some signals over doing a circuit around it, and call my front yard a hemisphere. You're not proving nothing, bro. You're acting like you're proving something. I understand your point, but it's not proving a globe. Can you let Plane share it? Do that last.
Yeah, I get that you guys really don't want to talk about this, so we'll go back to the optics and we'll come back to it.
I can't keep track of all these screen shares, guys. All right, go ahead. This is par for the course for this type of debate. So go ahead when you're ready there, Plane Reality, with your screen share.
Jesus
I'm just
Christ.
leaving it open. So
Brian is a true dumb fuck.
We can, I've got it turned right down, so we can just sort of run it in the background. But Ruhif wanted to see a model. Well, here's Heath Carmody, who has actually designed a model that does map it all out. So he goes right through
back
and shows all of this. And his actual model is designed on a flat Earth. Is designed and shows everything over a flat plane.
Does it show bottom-up obstruction?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think it's going to do?
Finds it and shows it. Yes.
Oh my God!
That's what I said at the beginning of the debate. Now he's showing it to you.
Yeah, using upwardly bending light,
which is the way that light bends in the actual world.
Which we demonstrated.
No, it isn't.
We demonstrated it with six examples.
Let's pause the video. Let's pause the video. I want to give us some time to go through this. So go ahead there, Ruhif, and we'll continue going through the video. And
okay, Brian has seen my refraction lecture a dozen times for sure, right? As you get higher up in the atmosphere, the density gets less, right? So light will bend down towards the more dense medium. Light only bends up when you are very close to the surface, where there's like heat exchange or a strong humidity gradient, that sort of thing. If you have upwardly bending light, there may not be a path to the bottom of the lighthouse, whatever it is, and you will have an inferior mirage. Right? It's a necessary consequence of having upwardly bending light.
Them are claims. Yeah, it'd have to work like that on a globe. Yeah. So if you assume you're on a globe, then you can make that claim and sit in your chair and act like it's certain. But that's just a claim, man. We showed half a dozen examples of light doing exactly what he's showing on screen.
All right, let's let Plane Reality back in here and continue with your video example. And like I said, let's pause as we need to.
You're just basically making claims with no actual evidence. Okay.
Of upwardly bending light and downwardly bending light.
Just mathematics. Do it over the real world.
I think you're fundamentally missing the point of a model, right? We agree that you take these photos out in reality and they show what they show. The important thing is, what is the explanation for that? What is the model?
Here's the model.
Okay, so upwardly bending light, you'll have an inferior mirage.
Backed up with demonstration.
Yeah.
Rue, if you wanted a model, there it is, man.
Yeah.
Now you're saying light doesn't do that when I literally pre-exampled it with 6 examples, man.
Right.
And we're asking for one. Can you show us just one? Y'all are just
presentation.
Claims, man. I'm not trying to be an asshole, guys, but man, y'all, you got to realize you're just making claims. You're not backing it up with anything except the fact that you know Earth's a globe. That's weird.
No. My presentation, there was a reason.
Someone has done hundreds of observations. Heath Carmody's done hundreds of observations. I myself have done hundreds of observations. All you do is you just get there, you take a look, and you're already reifying everything into your globe model because that's
I'm not reifying. Please tell me what a reification fallacy is.
You don't even. You
begging the question.
No, it's not it. What's a reification fallacy?
You didn't
it's
understand.
It's a permanent consequence, man.
No, that's not it either, Brian. What's a reification fallacy,
Brian?
Okay, just for our audience, since this has been brought up a few times, if you would like to define what that is and how it applies to our situation here, Ruhif, that's okay, because it would be good to move through and also let our audience understand what you're trying to accuse these gents of. So go ahead there, Ruhif.
Yes. What's a reification fallacy?
Yeah, you're reaffirming your basis, reify, reaffirm.
No. A reification fallacy is where you treat your model as if it is reality. That is not what I'm doing. There's reality. I have a concept in my head of what reality might be, right? And the way I test that is to ask the model, what are your predictions for what I should see in reality if the model is true? I'm not reifying anything.
You're using it as proof, though, bud. You're
looking. No, I'm not.
It's like you're pointing, clicking. You're pointing. You're saying, look, You're saying,
And
look
what
over
your
there, look,
model-
see globe.
I don't use the word
Model
proof, Brian. I
design.
say that the predictions of my model match reality, and I
Ruhif,
have
you
high
got a lovely
confidence that
model,
it's
bro.
true.
I'll grant y'all that. Y'all got a lovely model.
I wish I could say you had a model, but you don't.
There's one on screen while he says no model. Yeah, this is, dude, are you kidding
Show me bottom-up obstruction with light bending down.
All right, we've got a lot on the table here.
Show me light bending down.
We
I have an
hold on a
example.
second there, guys.
More
So
density.
Lucas is trying to
That's
jump
light
in.
bending
It's
down.
fair. I think it's fair for Lucas to jump in at this point, and then I want to hand it
I
back
have
to
a
Plain Reality.
demonstration of what they're asking
Oh,
for.
can I have 10 seconds?
10
My
seconds.
daughter
Okay.
would like to come into the room, which means I have to go off camera.
Oh, okay. Yep. No
Cool.
problem.
So I'll do that. Yeah.
It happens to the best of us, and I only claim to be mediocre. It happens to me. So go ahead, there, Ruhiv, and there you go. We are sharing screen again. We still got 10 minutes left to our second segment of open discussion. I'm going to ask these fine fellas if they are up for another round after this. You might want to get yourself a refreshment, like I say, or use the washroom. If you guys are going to carry on, that's totally fine. But I will let our audience know your participation is awesome. We really appreciate you guys hanging out in the live chat, having all kinds of lively debates of your own, and also participating in our poll. So I have that up on our screen to show, the lovely participation of 601 votes. The Earth is a globe. We got 60% voting for that in the audience. 25% voted for the flat, and then 14% for a loaf of bread. All right,
We'll call that progress.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna take that off screen for now, and let's go into your screen share there, and carry on with our discussion. You guys let me know
That's
at
for an
any point though
example,
if you're
you're
getting to the end.
Thank you, Ryan.
No worries.
45% think it's flat. No, that's not progress, dipshit.
So you're asking for an example of light bending down. Green flash is one such example that is explained by the differential refraction of different frequencies of light in the sun. That's one example. I also provided you with
I don't see light bending down there.
Show us light bending down.
That is the phenomena at play here. I also showed you this hospital
claim.
study. I showed you the hospital study, which is demonstrating the effect of the
You
apparent
haven't
height.
showed us light bending down. You
That's
showed
what
us
I'm showing you right now.
Of,
Okay, so and in any density gradient that you can replicate, you will demonstrate, as you see here, and we agreed based on the laws of optics
There
that
you
light
go.
bends towards the more dense medium.
yeah,
in
and course,
almost
Brad,
all
we have
optical
asked you
scenarios.
to do it over terrestrial, over the Earth.
Well, that's what I'm showing with green
Demonstrate it
flash. It's the
over
same
the
phenomenon. It's the same phenomenon.
not.
It
No, it's
is.
not.
I've just shown you, and I've just shown you.
It's a claim.
I can provide
More
you.
Brian,
this-
you got to understand that's just a claim, though, bro. We're asking
Well,
you
you
to
can
see
say
the
that
light
about
bending
any
down.
argument. You could see that about any argument. What I'm showing you here, and I'll put it in the slide because my browser is for some reason glitching out with
Well,
the
here's the difference, though, man. Here's the difference.
Hold on,
When
one
we
second.
show you lasers bending down, you can say whatever's causing it. That's a claim. Whatever you say is causing it. I'm not trying to tell you what's causing it. I'm just trying to say, look, this is what's happening in reality. Y'all are saying that it's not. So if it's not, show us
telling
something
you.
that show us something where it's not doing that. Don't just show us reasons and consequences of what you think is happening. That's the
So
difference.
the whole point that we're having this conversation is your claim has to be that light bends upward to create the illusion of things moving downward. We've sort of agreed, I think, that what's measured as missing height is an accurate measurement of something. And I've shown here that this isn't some random phenomena. This is the systematic phenomena that we're talking about, the systematic observed effect of the physical Earth curvature.
Okay.
And I'm giving you multiple examples that demonstrate
Oh my God.
all of. So in this case, I have two different sets of measurements.
Okay, how about this real quick? Real
There's
quick.
over 50 measurements here.
Got you, real quick.
The
So-
observations, where's the observations that are consistent with upward light?
Real quick,
many days
Morgan,
did you
just
go back
hear
and
me
do
out
that?
real quick. Okay, when I show
Just do
you
that on one
6
day?
examples of laser lights bending up, what's causing that? What's causing the 6 examples?
There are
Temperature inversion.
optical
lights bending
effects. There are optical effects near the surface that can cause different gradients than are typically observed. When you move above the surface, as was done in these measurements, and you look over a large distance.
Wait, what was the answer? What's your
Fine.
answer?
I'll give you the
My-
answer.
my
Less
answer
less
is that-
dense lower down than high
So,
density
so
higher.
that's a claim. Okay, so what I did is I showed you what's happening in reality.
No, that's physics, dumb fuck.
and y'all both made claims on why it's happening. So what we're asking y'all is for not more claims.
I'm showing you here.
Oh my God.
I'm showing you here that light always bends demonstrably, and this is a known fact of optics. If you want to disagree with the foundation of all optics, that's fine. Light always bends towards the more dense medium.
Nobody's
If
disagreeing
light
with
is
that.
bending
You're
upwards, and
mistaking
I'm
pressure
showing
with
you this
density,
right
bro.
now.
You're mistaking pressure with density, bro. You're saying that pressure and density are the same thing. Oxygen
No, it's not.
and nitrogen and all this stuff has a certain density.
No, I'm not saying that pressures and
And
density
they
are
have
the
certain
same.
pressures also. They're different. Okay. So you're acting like there's a big shift just because the pressure just ever so gradually changes. What changes in the atmosphere is the humidity levels. That is
That is not a large.
That's a medium change.
Right. The humidity gradient in the atmosphere is not a big factor in the refractive gradient. The biggest factor by far is pressure. Second.
Well, the U.S. standard atmosphere wouldn't agree with you, man. He showed it on screen
You're
earlier.
misrepresenting, Brian. Respectfully,
right
you're
back.
misrepresenting what that study is saying.
Dude, anybody in reality would
You
agree
should be
that
able to demonstrate.
water vapor
Able to
is gonna do
demonstrate.
more to refract
You
light.
disagree.
Hang on.
Oh my God! Y'all don't think water vapor is going to refract light more than
No. What you're missing, Brian?
change of pressure?
No. The study that you're looking at is specific to radio frequencies, right? It's not to optical light. If you're in the optical spectrum, the humidity gradient is not a big factor.
Ruhiv, I can literally boil some water and put the camera over it and show you, or take a hot summer day where shit's steaming off of the ground, humidity's pouring up, and the light is just a wonky, man.
The temperature gradient, if it's
yeah,
a very
right. But
hot
what is
surface,
the temperature causing? The temperature is causing more humidity.
What? How does heating something up create H2O?
Would you agree the more air, the more humidity that's available, the more available to hold the humid air? I mean, would you agree that the more pressure, the more possibility for humidity?
The more molecules.
Sure.
Kind of, yeah. Trivially true, almost.
So, like, and once again, that to me is a claim, and for me, by me, I made the claim there. So I'm speculating what I think is happening, pretty much what we can demonstrate. But what we know for sure is that every time we've looked at the lasers from an orthogonal view, every time so far that I've seen, we see the light bending up. So that's what I call a demonstration. So please show us one. Don't
your own citation says, right? It says water vapor is the only significant dipole molecule in the atmosphere. And this is the key sentence: because water vapor molecules flip in response to VHF and SHF frequencies, they are effective re-emitters and therefore have a strong effect on the index of refraction. This does not happen. Sorry, this is me speaking now. This does not happen in the visible spectrum. You got mute.
Tell me what you're reading.
I'm reading your source.
The U.S. standard atmosphere.
Whatever your
I like the way you put your own words in there, Ruhiv.
Yeah, I know.
I had to signal when I was speaking.
So humidity doesn't. So humidity gradients don't affect visible light. That's what you just claimed.
No, they do, but nowhere near enough as they do in microwave and radio.
That's a claim. If we're living on a globe, I agree that a lot of the things y'all are saying would have to be happening. But that's what this debate is about, man. Y'all got to take a step back and show us some damn proof, man.
I can get deep into refraction if you like.
Why can't you just show me one laser bending down?
Because it would look no different. Like we talked about before, it would hit the ground and either reflect.
But if light's bending down, you should have no trouble showing it. This debate's been going on. We've been asking this for years.
If you're 6 feet above the surface, how will you see light bending down?
So go up 100 feet and show us, please. But
how will you see it?
Well, you would see it skip off the water.
Yeah, right.
What do you mean you wouldn't see it? You would see it skip off the water. You would see a bit where
you see a reflection.
Off the water.
Yeah, we see reflections off the water for lasers all the time.
It would touch the water.
Do you deny that we see reflections off the water all the time with lasers?
Do we see the laser bending up, Ruhiv?
Yeah.
So then why are you claiming we wouldn't see it bend down?
Because you're 6 feet above the surface. It would hit the ground and bounce.
And we'd see that, right?
You would see it. Yeah. Well, you'd see the laser.
You would see the bend in the laser.
No, you wouldn't.
Not even though we just showed you 6
You're
bends.
6 feet above the
Like,
surface.
oh my God. Why
Yeah,
do y'all
the-
deny
The
reality? This is
core,
weird.
the core issue here is, are you claiming that light bends up, but that light bends away from a less dense medium into a more dense medium? Or are you claiming the opposite?
That I could speculate all I want, okay? But what I'm doing is showing you what's happening, what's causing it. I just made a point.
So, is
What's
it
causing
possible-
it? You know, your guess is as good as mine. I think it's the humidity gradient.
I
because
don't
that's
think
changed
I don't
medium.
think the audience would agree with that. But the question here is, we know the laws of optics, and I've demonstrated in a controlled setting with an experiment light bending towards the more dense medium. That is a known property of optics. That's the basics of Snell's law, which is the basis for terrestrial refraction.
But
so now you're claiming some other effect.
Exactly, RT. He's just such a disingenuous dipshit.
When
is it possible that what you're observing at the surface is not representative of what happens at a higher elevation?
Anything's possible.
Representative, it's possible, yes?
Anything's possible. I'll grant you that. But here's my point: is I showed even when we force the laser light down in the sugar water, what y'all claim is happening, things appearing higher, it ain't happening. So even in y'all's example where you force the laser light to bend down, we see the objects in the distance lower, not raised. So, dude, y'all really are.
So where does that manifest? Where
If you use the word y'all more than twice a day, you're not cut out for this fucking argument.
Just before you jump in, just hold your question. I want to let you guys know we've gone on for another 50 minutes. I know, Lucas, you have a question that you want to get right to, but I do want to respect all the speakers on the panel and give them a chance to, if they need to, step out, use the washroom or grab a drink, whatever you need to do.
Yes, or bro.
It's totally fine. If not, you know how I do it. Speak now, forever hold your pee. I can't see what you're doing over there, Ruhif. I will put another 50 minutes on the floor, though, if you guys want to continue to chat. And I know Lucas is ready to.
I'm happy with another 15 minutes of chat, and then super chats.
Awesome.
And then after that, we could possibly continue chatting. I don't know. We'll see. It depends on circumstances within this room.
Well, we're having a great time, and honestly, yeah, we got only a handful of super chats in so far. So, yeah, we're counting on you, our audience, to put in those super chats, ask those questions, and maybe you'll poke the bear and get this discussion really turned.
Like they're constantly saying, show us proof, give us proof, and they never do it themselves.
Into a different direction once we get into our post discussion and ask your questions. So, Lucas, I'm going to hand it back over to you. I hope you've held your question.
Yes. So I have demonstrated in a laboratory or like an experimental setting that light bends towards the more dense medium. That is a known property of optics. So unless you're denying all of the research and all of the work that has gone into the discovery of optics, that has to be the case. That's only what's observed. I've demonstrated here that the variation in the refractive index is a random effect. Therefore, what you need is a systematic effect to explain the two things, the bottom-up obstruction and the missing height, which Ruhif brought up at the beginning.
Already
Now, I
been
want you to tell me.
Already been explained. You might have dismissed it.
Yeah,
No, I
what you
can't
prove
do
it.
this.
We're not arguing
Yeah,
with,
we have dismissed
it at all.
we're not arguing with
Explain
anything
here.
you're acting like we're denying. We're not arguing any of that.
Hold on. So this is measured over 27 miles with a theodolite, the missing height of a tower, and at the final elevation, the tower's measured elevation was lower than the incident elevation of the measurement. So what phenomena is accounting for this almost exact distribution of data? When we do a least squared fit, we get precise.
Least squared is average.
So what you did was you moved further away and it got lower. Is that what you're saying?
We demonstrated that in my presentation. I'll give you
No,
three
you
examples of compression.
So are you claiming? Are you claiming
further
All right,
away?
all right, hold on.
and it got lower? Is that what you're
Let's let
saying?
Plain Reality ask his question.
Yeah. So if you what you're claiming is that you moved further away and it got lower. Is that what you're doing, or you went up higher?
No. What I'm claiming is that there is a measured drop below horizontal, that the angle changes in a way that is inconsistent with the law of perspective because it's asymmetric.
Can you do basic trigonometry, plane reality? Like if I said I was 100 meters away from a tree on relatively flat ground, and I
What's that
measured an
got to do with
angle.
anything?
I'm asking a question, and I measured an angle of 45 degrees to the top of the tree. Can you tell me the height of the tree?
Yeah, you want us to
45
stop
degree
and
angle.
sharpen our pencils or something, bro?
Well, it seems you're not understanding what Lucas is showing.
Bro, he's saying the angle. Now that's an insult.
I have a figure which might help, Rudolph. 1 second, let me find it.
You act like you got to
I'm eating dinner.
understand angles.
Yeah, what I'm asking you is that are you moving back, or what are you doing in this experiment that you're showing us? What have you done to get this supposed curve?
Yes. So we measure the radial distance to a tower from a variety of different elevations. So if, due to perspective, there is a reduction in angular size, but the angle always remains the same. The angle relative to the horizontal always remains, the local horizontal of the observer always remains the same. What we observe is that the angle changes. That cannot be due to perspective unless you're claiming perspective does things it can't do.
Nobody claimed that's perspective. Hey, I sent you a short. This should stir things up, Ryan. Like, this is absolute proof that light's not doing what they're claiming. And if we don't get any comments on that, I shared it with you on Discord, a DM plane. If you could share this little, it's like a 50-second little thing. And this is absolute proof that light's not doing what they're claiming with demonstration.
So is it light bending up then? So you mentioned three things.
Whatever it is, it's demonstrated. And
I haven't demonstrated anything here. So are you claiming that this measured drop over distance, which cannot be due to perspective?
Nobody's saying it's perspective.
The angle doesn't change. So it can't be perspective. It can't be Rayleigh criterion. So are you claiming refraction?
Can you explain why it can't be perspective?
Yeah, I'm trying to find something. 1 second.
Yeah. Check your DMs in Discord, Lucas. I sent you just a basic.
Everybody be sending everybody DMs in Discord.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to be charitable and give a chance if you do have that on your side there, Plane Reality, and if you want to share that.
Let me find the demonstration real quick. I think
what they're trying to do, Plane, is pin you down to strictly mathematics when you've been demonstrating refraction the whole damn debate.
All right.
So I understand that you guys don't want to do mathematics, but that is how we.
No, we can do math, but that's not. It's basically asking him if he understands angles is ridiculous.
So math is reality. So if you got $1 million in your bank, and I give you another $2 million, is there now $3 million in your bank?
Yes.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, but how? But do you have $1 million?
So give me some money. Yeah, exactly. They don't get
do
it.
You have $1 million in the bank?
Yes.
All right, let's try to go back to the light, the bending light. So, so my understanding there, fellas, just to bring everything back in, my understanding is that Brian isn't necessarily saying that he has an example that he wants to present more. He wants to call into question.
If he had $1 million and you gave him $1 million, deposited it to his bank account, he would have $1 more $1 million.
What you've put on
this dumb fuck didn't know how math works
on the table there, Lucas. So if you have that, in your Discord, if you want to get that up.
Now I know what he was trying to get at. I know what his gotcha question was supposed to be. It was if I say, if I write 1000000 in your, and does that mean you have $1 million more dollars? That's what he was trying to say. But he's not smart enough to be clever.
Oh no, I sent it to Lucas. Yeah, it's just a simple trig that's trying to demonstrate.
For the globe pay as well, doesn't it?
Yes, it's just a simple trig question of perspective and what happens when something gets further away.
Yeah, and I have 2 demonstrations I'll add to that as well. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, do you
Bro,
want me to
but
share
he's
or
been showing you the whole debate. Look, he's not saying it's just purely perspective. Like,
yeah, but
he's been showing you the whole debate. He's been showing you.
I mean, these people are so fucking paranoid. They think that NASA pays people like me or Ruhif or Mordwand money to deceive people about the shape of the Earth. That's what they think.
Refraction and the phenomenon.
I mean, that's what he just said. He talked about getting paid.
Understand.
Now you're trying to pin him down to pure perspective. That's weird.
I'm asking you, what is the source of the systematic effect which is causing the bottom-up obstruction and the missing height.
We've showed you the entire debate, and you're still asking the same
Haven't explained
question. Who cares if we can explain it? We've demonstrated.
Because that's what you were asked to do. Explain it with geometry.
It. We've demonstrated it. We can speculate and make claims like you guys all day.
All right.
Can I talk through this little?
Yeah, we are
trick
going
thing?
a little bit in a circle at this point.
I mean, what did he do in school when it came time to take a test? Just walk up to the teacher and say, "Why do you need to test me? I'm smart. Just believe me. Just believe me when I say I'm smart. Why do you have to test me on it?"
So sorry, we are going in a little bit of a circle on this one. So if we can try to wheel it back in. Yeah, Ruf is.
Oh yeah, then come on, man.
Doing a screen share. Like I said, I know that you guys are sending messages back and forth, and you guys have
Be humble.
things that you're relying on the buddy system to get up and running. So yeah, definitely feel free to jump in and say, hey, can I share my screen? I don't want anybody to be over dominating. But yeah, Ruf, I think it's fair for you to.
Yeah, they're fucked up. I mean, flat earthers are fucked in the head. They really are.
Explain to our audience what you got going on here and how it.
And they say they're skeptics. They're not skeptics. They're cynics. They don't want to believe it. A skeptic will look at something objectively. They don't.
Applies to what we're talking.
Yeah, so a simple use of trigonometry. We can measure along the ground 400 feet to the tree, and we can also measure that angle x, all right? This slides around the wrong way a little bit. Like we measure the angle and then work out the height, rather than knowing the height, working out the angle. If I push that tree back to 800 feet, that angle gets lower, correct? It gets smaller.
Obviously.
Yep. Cool. Okay, that's cool. That's what I wanted to show. When we can predict that angle, if we know the height of the tree is 150 feet and we push it back 800 feet, can we predict that angle on a flat Earth?
You can do it
We
on
can do the math, right?
or flat. You can,
Yep.
barring refraction, though. Right?
Right. Yep. Don't worry about refraction right now, but can we predict that angle by knowing the height of the tree and the distance to it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. What Lucas was showing a minute ago was the difference in height between what it should be on a flat Earth. It's missing height, and it's missing, 6.5 inches per mile squared.
But what we've been showing you the entire debate is things violating this pure
Your lack of education.
trigonometry. Okay, we're not disagreeing with the trigonometry or the math. We get that. I don't know how many times we got to keep saying this. We're showing you things.
Yes, you are. If you agreed with the trigonometry and math, you wouldn't be flat earthers.
Going wonky. We're showing you different days from the same position, things moving up, moving down, hourly, daily.
Right.
I mean,
And what's my response, Brian?
Why do y'all keep trying to pin us down to pure mathematics?
What's my response to things moving around a lot? My response is get away from the surface, get up high.
So get up high and show me something.
Yeah,
I've got stacks of measurements, stacks of measurements showing the drop.
Show me stacks. Show me multiple days.
Okay. Many measurements.
And refraction
All of the
and
measurements I provided in that graph.
And what did I show you in the beginning?
I mean, they truly have the brains of fucking goldfish. We've shown you this, Brian. We've shown you everything you've asked for.
What happens, okay? In any gradient. What did I show you? Literally
I'll
show
pull
you
up the
that.
raw data for you, okay?
What were the lasers doing?
All right,
that I showed y'all?
we can't have everybody
You
talking
want
all
me
at
to share
once.
screen,
So
right?
Ruif is going to share screen. I know that Lucas wanted to jump in here as well. So let's try to keep it quick there because I know you guys are all trying to get at that screen share. Go ahead there, Ruif.
Yeah. So I've done videos measuring things with theodolites above the surface, well above the surface. And it's incredibly consistent with Earth curve and standard refraction. I've done shitloads of these measurements.
Unbelievable. That one on the
Okay,
bottom
bro.
right, the one on the bottom right, he had the best spread, the best angle, and he showed in a little over a mile, he literally held a tape measure from the benchmarks on top of the aqueduct down to the water and showed them rising up like 12 inches in a mile and a half.
I've responded to that as well,
Yeah,
Brian. I
your-
made a
your
video
response.
about that as well.
I seen your response, and it's just epically
All right.
desperate to put it.
Let's
not
let Lucas do his screen share. All right, so 12 inches with the best spread. That's all I got out of that. That sounds awful. All right, go ahead there, Lucas. Whenever you're ready.
Let me find my All right, so here's the core issue that you guys have to figure that we're kind of talking past each other on, and I think I just want to get clarification here. So the top is what happens due to perspective. Okay. So as we move into the distance, there is a law of perspective that describes that these sides shrink at the same rate. What I'm trying to point out to you guys is that in order for the bottom-up obstruction to occur, or for missing height, which is the measurement that we're talking about now, missing height here is the difference between this point C1 and this point C2. And there's a difference in angle that is measured. What we're saying is that is reality.
Correct. 100%.
We go and we measure, and this was all done at high incident elevations. I can provide you with the exact list of elevations if you'd like. And what do we find? The black dots are the observations. The blue line is what we fit with a model. I then went to a different set of data, completely different set of data, gathered at different locations and distances by different observers, including 2 flat earthers. Jay Tolan's measurement is in here. And I'm sorry, Bev's not a flat earther. I don't want to be bigoted, but he did a measurement as well that's included. And
no worries.
What did we find?
The live chat. Go ahead.
What did we find? We found complete consistency between the 2 sets of measurements, and your guys is claimed, oh, it's random all over.
No. Big deal, bro. So you're claiming Earth curving is causing that.
Correct.
We're claiming
and
light.
Back up for that.
We're saying light's changing angle. You're saying the ground is changing angle.
You're saying the light's doing something that it doesn't do naturally. That's what you're claiming.
We're saying changing angle. Now, what this debate is about is proving one or the other. We've demonstrated what's happening in reality. You're just saying it's curve. That's all you're doing.
Demonstrated here that this is a physical curvature of the surface over the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway.
That's
not.
Did you like it? Everyone can have a look. Taylor on Twitter has actually filmed the entire thing, and it is dead straight all the way across.
Dead straight.
It's not. It's not. There is a measured curvature across.
They don't like demonstration, Plain.
This is a demonstration. This is real data collected by a real person, and it confirms a radius value that is consistent with the Earth and is not optical. I can also show you another demonstration that is very simple that you can verify geometrically. You can place 4 points on a spherical Earth that are equidistant. Here are the 4 points. Here's your demonstration.
I can do that with my front yard, Mordwan. I can add a radius value to my front yard and do the same thing.
If they are a sufficient distance apart on the Earth, can you place 4 equidistant points on the surface of a planar Earth? Can you show that these 4 points would be equidistant on
Good point, Archie.
a plane using a planar distance?
I can do it with my front yard, man.
With these 4 points.
I can mathematically add a radius value to my front yard.
You can
and
mathematically
demonstrate
add
my
a
front
radius
yard
value.
is a sphere, dude.
Mathematically add a radius value.
Okay.
What do you mean?
I mean, I can add a radius value to my front yard or even a flat desk, okay, and prove to you mathematically that it is curved by adding a radius value.
No, that's not how shit works, man. What the fuck are you talking about? You just can't say, okay, that flat thing is curved.
Do it. Where did it do it? Come back and show us. But the other question
God, are y'all denying that?
So the other question is, why
wait. Are y'all denying that I can mathematically curve my yard?
What I'm saying is, if you're saying that you can then use the Haversine formula or something, you can, but then you're making an assumption of a sphere. You haven't addressed this point either.
I'm the one assuming a sphere. That's grand.
All flight plans.
If you use the Haversine formula, you are. It's the only thing you use a Haversine formula for is finding the distance over a spherical surface.
Rely on great circle distances with the Haversine formula. and we could talk about all the wonky
Haversine
things
formula
that
does
happen.
not prove a globe, bro. The Haversine is doing
Yeah, it does.
measurements from a coplanar spot in the center of a plane. Okay,
No, it's not, dipshit.
projecting up to a
No. God damn, man. What a dumbass. Haversine formula. The Haversine formula determines the great circle distance between 2 points on a sphere.
You're claiming,
that's a whole new territory, dude.
God, what a dumb fuck.
You're
Wait, you
claiming that the
can't point-
Haversine. Okay, let me ask you a simple question, Brian.
I mean, and they can't remember what has been said in prior conversations.
Does the Haversine formula work to calculate distances accurately on Earth?
It can. I don't see
Okay,
why
it
not.
can. Okay, all right, great.
Hey,
Is
so
it?
does it
is
prove it's a sphere though? No.
Okay.
Yes, it does.
So do you agree that the Haversine formula calculates distances on Earth?
It
Yes?
can. You can. Yes, you can. But you just jumping the gun and saying that that's claiming Earth's a sphere. That we were doing the measurements from the center of Earth. No,
Okay.
like I said, you're doing them from a coplanar. All your measurements in the Haversine are
So
coplanar.
you're
Coplanar
claiming
measurements, bro. So that's not proving that Earth is a sphere.
you're claiming
Can I share
that.
screen now?
Well, hold on. Let me just finish this one point. So show me the
15
4
seconds.
points on the Earth.
No, he's not going to let you screen share. No, I'm just
No,
kidding. Go
I'll
ahead.
let you screen share.
I'm just kidding, dude.
Of course, we'll
I
let you
just-
screen share,
so
but let's
I
give him
just-
15.
Just curious that you would use a formula for distance and admit that it works on the Earth when that formula is based on spherical geometry, based on a subtended angle, and based on the radius of the Earth. So
Based
go
on
ahead.
measurements from a coplanar point on a plane.
Go ahead when
Yeah,
you're
you
ready
have
there,
to
playing
demonstrate
reality.
that. I don't think that's the case.
Do you understand the Haversine?
I do understand that Haversine.
Okay,
Yeah.
then you understand that all
You fucking don't.
the three angles, the baselines, are coplanar.
No,
All right, let's
they aren't. It's a great circle distance, dipshit.
let plain reality push
Oh my
this
God.
conversation into either new territory
here's
or
I mean, Brian really is a dumb fuck. He really is. But he thinks he's so fucking smart. He thinks he's a goddamn genius.
Like punch
push
screen.
this. Yeah,
True Florida man.
let's go ahead.
This is a video from Taylor, and this is from Space Audits channel.
Right, looking perpendicular to it where you will not see obvious curvature.
Mm-hmm. I've seen this.
Yeah, and as we see, the whole bridge is just straight.
So is your
Okay.
argument here? Is your argument here again that it looks that way to you?
All right, guys, happy Thursday. Today is actually.
Hey, Plain, can you share that short video that I DM'd you, please? Before
Hang
this.
on, hang on. Let's discuss.
Jesus, no wonder he's so fucked up. He watches Candace Owens. Jesus fucking Christ. What really happened to Michael Jackson?
Pontchartrain.
Jesus
Pontchartrain.
fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Their brains are just full of garbage. It's like if you could crack their skulls open, it would smell like sewage.
Is your claim that it looks flat to me, therefore it's flat?
It doesn't just look flat. It is.
Demonstration, man.
Well, hold on.
It doesn't just look flat, it is flat.
Is your claim that
Because it looks flat.
it looks flat, therefore it is flat?
So you agree it does look flat then?
Hold on. in
Shut
that
the
video,
fuck
is
up,
that your
Brian.
claim?
I just like.
I
he's
would
just
say
showing
that it looks flat, and it is flat.
All right, let's let the.
Yeah, but
Because
you
your
what
voters-
evidence
I
do you
just
have?
proved it.
Well, he's got his screen share up
I just proved it by saying it.
now, so let's let plain reality explain what he's got in front of
Jesus
us right
fucking
now.
Christ.
Oh man, that's the wrong one, man.
Hang on, got to go back to Pontchartrain. You can't just put shit up like that and then let it go, right?
Yeah, that's
What
the wrong
would
one
that
anyway.
look like?
Fine.
So that video that Taylor posted, what should that look like if it's a globe, and what should it look like on a flat Earth? Then we can compare the two.
Well, you'd be getting more curve if it was a globe.
Would you? Please demonstrate what it should look like on a globe.
Shouldn't we see almost a half a degree of
I don't
curve?
know. Should you?
Yeah, well,
I'm asking you.
according to 60 nautical miles per degree.
What is the
I'm
exact?
going to end the
Be
screen
like
share to
over-
give you your privacy, and we'll.
According to 60 nautical miles per degree, how does that equate to where the bridge is? How much of the bridge you see, Brian?
Yeah. So
because that video was looking. Oh, sorry, that video was looking side on at a bridge, showing only 3 or 4 miles at a time. How much curve would you expect to see looking side on 3 or 4 miles at a time? The answer is
would
fuck all.
expect it to drop as she panned. We would expect it to drop quite a bit.
No. How many degrees? How many degrees, dipshit? How fucking curvy do you think the fucking Earth should look, man? You're talking about like a tenth of a degree, dude.
Quantify it,
Either
model
way,
it,
dude.
do
Either
something.
way, you know, whether it proves anything or not, y'all are saying that y'all proved it's curved. We
Yes.
showed
Yeah, 2,500 years ago, asshole.
you. We let the audience decide. He showed
Did you not get the fucking memo?
the actual bridge from an orthogonal view. So
Right.
y'all never demonstrate any curve orthogonally. Y'all act like we're living on a
true.
cylinder.
It's like you have a
Yeah, they have. Rory did. Rory did.
pool cue. How do you tell if a pool cue is curved? Do you look at it from the side, or do you look down along the pool cue?
I have another demonstration though for what he's asking. Hold on one sec.
Yeah, you guys have to make predictions about the globe as well as predictions about flat Earth,
Your video
and
was
then see what reality matches.
your video was lagging.
Oh,
for
here
a
it
second
is.
there.
I
It's back
found
up
it.
running.
Plain. I'm gonna send it to you right now. This is what I meant. Sorry.
All right, while you send that over, I'll remind our audience I do have a new poll in the chat there for you to vote on who you found the most compelling speaker tonight. I'm gonna leave the results as a surprise until the end of our discussion, which I'll just check the timer. We still have 30 minutes from the last moment that we decide we will carry in with another discussion. So
I'm gonna speed it
Sorry, I
up.
said 15.
Oh, you said
15 and then
15.
super chats.
So
Yeah, that's
sorry.
right.
Well, I mean, anyway, if we're going to keep going, though, I do appreciate you because you did say a little bit after is fine too. But yeah, definitely get those super chats in if you want to grill one of these fellas on screen. We do appreciate that at Modern Day Debate. And as Orbital said, stroke the like button, poke that like button, do anything you want to that like button. That guy has it all. He's got all the bad sayings. All right, let's carry on with the screen share. You're up and running.
Okay.
Can you play that?
Yep. Fine.
Can you do the voice?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes, you showed a temperature inversion. It's an outlier. It's different to the way light normally bends, dipshit.
Light is bending down.
Congratulations, you cherry picked something that you think is evidence.
Make an object. In this video, I'm going to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that refraction using light rays does not work in reality the way it has to work on a globe. They claim that light is bending down, making objects appear higher, and I'm going to show how that cannot possibly work.
Inch above the surface. This test took place between 11 and 11:30 p.m. on December 16th. The outdoor air temperature was around 34 degrees.
So you basically are saying, I'm going to prove that a steel rod is not straight, and then you're going to bend it. That's what you're doing, man. You're forcing it out of its normal behavior.
Fahrenheit. The air at the surface and from a few feet above were both showing around 72 degrees Fahrenheit at the start of the test. During the test, after opening the door, the temperature at the surface showed 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and from a few feet above the surface, 53 degrees. Here's the flashlight from the viewer's perspective at the start of the test. Now, we open the door.
In all three examples, the lights completely disappear. So if it were light rays that were heading above our eyes and bending down, making the lights appear higher, then they wouldn't completely disappear. No matter how much they bent, they would just appear higher and higher. That kills their eclipse explanations, their sunsets, and their entire model.
No, it doesn't, dipshit. Normal refraction light bends down. They've created conditions to where they make it bend up. It's a rare thing.
So the point in that is if it's light bending down the way they claim, okay, we just showed that it's
And he's been explained this. Brian's been fucking educated on this shit, but he keeps using the same fucking argument. What a dishonest maggot.
A regular income like this, to reliable paydays like these, then this will be the most interesting video you all year. Now, this might sound
still
a bit
hear
weird.
that audio, so I'm just going to turn that off for our audience while you get that killed off. Okay.
I mean, he keeps being educated every single fucking time on this. And he just, next time, it's the same fucking thing.
Let's try to end that audio. I was going to say, we're getting ad audio. To use a saying that I use. Oh my goodness, everybody's going to get wild in the chat. Just before we continue on, we lost Lucas. I'm not sure what happened. So let's just chill out for a few minutes and see if we can find out what happened with Lucas. Let me just... Lucas, did you rage quit? No, let's hope not. Yes, you take a bathroom break. That's no problem. Sure. Oh, wrong way.
I mean, that's just desperation to keep presenting the same thing over and over again, hoping it'll fucking win an argument. And it never does. He keeps getting educated, but he keeps wanting to make it real. Just desperate.
All right.
But I really want the Earth to be flat.
All right, hold on. There we go. Let's get this
Always
back on screen.
bends
There we go.
towards it always bends towards the more dense medium. Do we accept that? Do you claim that these observations contradict Snell's law?
I don't think either of us are claiming that.
Okay, so if
We're
light's
saying
bending
that-
up, then it's less dense at the surface and higher, and more dense higher up.
Well, it's just, it's bending into the denser medium.
Yeah, right. So they measured the...
Right, you created conditions of a denser medium above a less denser medium with the temperature.
All right, we got Lucas
they
coming
measured
back
the
in there, guys. So sorry,
But that doesn't match normal reality.
everybody, that we were muted for a couple seconds there. There was a bit of an audio delay. There was a video playing in the background with an ad, so we just took a few moments just to let everybody come back into the room. But yeah, I'm so sorry to interrupt you guys. I just saw that Lucas was rejoining and wanted to shout out to the audience that we're going to get everything back up and running here as we had it. But if you guys, like I said, want to just take a moment, if you want to step out, grab a drink, that's totally fine. I'm not sure if any other people wanted to take a second.
Shall we go to questions?
We can go to questions.
Super chats? Yeah.
That's no problem.
Let's
at all.
do that. Yeah,
Let's wait for Brian to get back here. I'm gonna get our screen reorganized now that we've got Lucas back. What happened there, Lucas? We lost you for a few seconds there.
Oh, when you have too many things open and then you try to open another tab to go find another piece of evidence, that's the maybe one explanation. I think the other explanation is that the Jesuits are doing something weird with the signal to try to prevent the truth from coming out. So.
Oh my. Well, that's quite the. You've got your own conspiracies over there. We'll let you have them all and keep them all to yourself. Don't you worry, guys. So we do like having lots of debates here at Modern Day Debate. We actually we got pitched one earlier about UFOs. So if you know somebody who really likes defending UFOs or alien encounters, that's.
And where's Mike VOIP been? I mean, he's stopped doing streams. He normally has a Friday stream, Friday debunk or drunk debunk or whatever. What happened? Hope he's okay.
That sort of content, let us know, or let them know that we're interested for sure. But with that being said, big shout out to our speakers. We really appreciate you guys. I have a feeling that based on what was said earlier by Ruhif, that your super chats are going to launch these fellas into some uncharted territory. So let's go where no man has gone before and see what you guys have put in the live chat. That's the best way I can put it, I think. All right. Brian, are you back? No.
And I've actually filmed a UFO as well, so.
Last time he posted on Discord was like 2 or 3 days ago.
Weird was going on anyway. I'm not sure what it was, but there was definitely something weird in the sky.
Well, yeah. If you like I say, if you know somebody who is really apt to present that information, then yeah, we're definitely open to it here at Modern Day Debate. We do host debates. Once again, I'll do some housekeeping while Brian's out. We do host debates on science, politics, and religion. And we do try to keep it as neutral as we can, even though we as people, all people, have bias. We as moderators at Modern Day Debate do our best to not moderate with bias. The only bias we have is for good discussion and for people who play by the rules. So thank you to all of our speakers tonight for being so amicable. And it looks like Brian is back. So let's get to those audience chats. Thank you, everybody, for your participation. We're going to get into your questions. So once again, you got questions for our speakers, get them into a super chat. We've got lots of super chats that we're going to read out. So the only way you're going to be able to ask a question tonight, I do feel, is if we do a super chat. I'm not
Ryan, can I say one comment to the audience real quick?
Sure thing. We will do closings at the end, but go ahead there, Brian.
Well, it's just an audience. If y'all send super chats, like ask questions, I'll answer them as honest as possible. I see it in a lot of these debates. People answer with generalizations. I got a relative grasp on the math and all that, decent grasp. I'll answer any questions y'all send as honest as possible. I give you my word on that. I'm not going to try and run from any questions. So if you got any actual questions, send them and focus them at us. We'll give you the best.
They've been asking you questions all fucking night, and you haven't been able to answer a single one. Hey, Cygnus.
Best answer we can without obfuscation.
Hey, by comparison, that is a great tone compared to the last time I was on here hosting. So yeah, we'll see if I get a little backlash for that. Yeah.
We don't have to look at them. So this is, I learned how to do this. This is totally cool.
You know, I throw a little fire out every once in a while. Meriden says, if the globe is flat, why will the sun light up the underside of clouds at sunrise and set? Is the sun below them in elevation? People for whom it is noon at the same time could tell you that is false. That's our first question. Do you want to go ahead?
That's been demonstrated by Rob Skeever has demonstrated that. Many people have demonstrated how that can happen.
With upward light refraction, right? So you're claiming that it gets more dense as you go up? Does the atmosphere get more dense as you go up or less dense?
It gets less humid.
Right, humidity is a factor in the density, right? But does the atmosphere get less dense as you go up or more dense as you go up?
It gets less pressure. I don't think air gets
right?
less.
So less density. Pressure, humidity, temperature are the three main factors in refraction.
Well, my claim, look, we could keep going in circles, but ultimately, I understand what you're saying, but just by seeing what I see in reality, I'm giving you my explanation, and that is it's got to be the humidity gradient. And you're saying that it's doing one thing. I'm showing you that it's doing the other. I believe I've got the upper hand when it comes to this. But we're both giving explanations, man.
Right, but we have the empirical evidence measured refractive gradients.
Lacking demonstration, though.
What do you mean? It's
would you
measured.
agree this? If the Earth was flat, for the light to hit the bottom of the clouds, it would have to be something with perspective and some type of refraction.
It would have to be refraction. I cannot think of any other possibility. It would have to be refraction, yes. But it doesn't, because once you get above the surface, light always bends down. It only bends up when you're very close to the surface.
Let's get some thoughts over there from Plain Reality. So this is from Eridan. It was a $20 super chat, so I do want to try to bounce it around a bit if we can.
Not what I
and
wanted.
do appreciate you guys' inputs there. If the globe is flat, why will the sun light up the underside of clouds at sunrise/set? So yeah, same question if you want to give your thoughts on there.
Oh, well, I'd just say as well that it's been shown through models that the azimuthal grid of vision will actually help the sun set and show you how the sun can set. We can see the sun going through refractive layers the entire time, all the way through, right down until it gets to the horizon. So if the sun is appearing to drop below the horizon, meaning that the light is coming from that area anyway, it would then be shining light under the clouds.
Right. Is the azimuthal grid of vision a physical thing?
It's atmospheric.
Right, but is it a physical dome that does something? Like
it's a dome of vision.
Right. So to me, that means a pointing system, like a coordinate system. How does a coordinate system change the path of light?
Well, it doesn't matter. Like we demonstrated it. We've showed you literally. I mean, we've showed demonstrations of light, of just backing up a light with using a little magnification. There's a few different ways to do it in reality, and just magnification is one of them. Yeah, exactly.
Refraction, right? Yeah.
So, I mean, I modeled out. No, I don't want to get into all that. But
but what does this azimuthal grid of vision do something? Is it a physical thing?
It's an explanation, man. That's all y'all have given all night. So
Okay, it makes zero sense to me, because it sounds very much like you're just using an altitude azimuth direction pointing system.
It is the air around us that creates it.
Okay, so refraction, right?
Demonstrably.
It would be due to refraction, yes.
Yeah, so upward refraction again. Again, once you get above the surface, light always refracts downwards.
And I've answered that honestly. My rebuttal would be, if you look at any of these examples, hey, you wouldn't have the angle you think you would have. Sorry,
we're looking from the ground to the sun, right? We're not looking from the sun to the ground.
Right.
So therefore we are on the ground, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
one
we're
last
looking
thing.
through the layers. We're not looking from the sun down.
The direction doesn't matter. The path between two objects through an atmosphere is the same. It's reversible. Doesn't matter whether you're looking from the ground to the sun or from the sun to the ground.
One last thing though. If I've shown many examples of the sun above the horizon, like up to about 4 or 5 degrees above the horizon, lighting the bottom of clouds. Now, if we're referring to a globe model, if the sun is 2 degrees above the horizon, above a tangent from my feet, and it's 93 million miles away, using the trig, that puts it 1.6 million miles above my feet. So even in a globe model, you're gonna have a lot of trouble explaining these underlit clouds with a sun above the horizon. Even if it's a half a degree, you're talking about 800,000 feet above. 800,000 miles above my feet. So how can a sun, it's 800,000 half a degree above the horizon, and it's 800,000 miles above my feet? How can it hit the bottom of a cloud if it's almost a million miles above that cloud in a globe model?
There are also numerous days where the sun doesn't go under the clouds, where we do not get that.
Sure.
That's a
Clouds
globe
block the
killer.
sun. But the question for Brian, did you measure that 5 degrees?
I don't even have to. I can call it 1/2
Just
degree.
fuck measurements.
How about,
Fuck any
how
measurements.
about the fact I see the sun and I can at least call it half a degree? The fact that it's above the horizon, I don't need exact numbers to know that the math on your globe says that it's going to be a million miles above my feet, above the cloud. So
I'll
if
draw
I
that
want
for
to
you
call
later,
it 5
Brian.
degrees, bro, if I want to call
Going
it
by
5 degrees,
globe, we should always see the sunlight come under the clouds.
All right, we got
Always.
lots of super chats coming in there, guys. So we do appreciate you expounding on your thoughts there, and there'll be lots more to come. So yes, keep your questions coming in. We do appreciate them, and like I say, this is a great opportunity to unpack so many things that maybe we didn't get to touch on in the debate. And maybe the most important thing is just brimming at the tip of your tongue right now, and you want to get into a super chat. So we do appreciate all the support, and yeah, hopefully you find that you get satisfaction out of what our debaters provide you here. So somebody said that there's somebody who's spamming with copy and paste comments in the chat. I've been looking it over. It doesn't look like it's copy and paste. I'll keep an eye on it there, RMFW, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. Sometimes if you give people too much attention, they'll just keep doing the thing that drives you crazy. So let's carry into the next question. Thunderstorm says, is an oblong shape closer to a rectangle than a sphere?
Good question.
What? An oblong shape closer to a sphere?
Yeah, let's let Lucas in here. Lucas, you got some thoughts there?
Yeah, does that mean anything to you, Lucas?
What was the question? Is an oblong shape closer to a rectangle than a sphere?
You got some arms behind you there, Ruhif, so I stopped your video.
I mean, it would have to be like a prism, like a rectangular prism, because a sphere is 3-dimensional. Are they talking about so an ellipsoid has a major and minor axis, which determines how much it's flattened at the poles. So I think the question depends on how oblique the ellipse is.
Oh, that ain't good.
Man, give an actual answer, man.
that's the honest answer. It depends, because technically you can get an ellipse, as in the case of the Earth. The Earth is
That's not
ellipsoidal,
good.
but the difference between the major and the minor axis, as it were, or the degree of flattening, is very, very small. I mean, there's like a 30-kilometer difference between the poles and the equator. So in that case, it's closer to a sphere. But if you took it and flattened it much closer, much flatter, then that would, it would also depend on the shape of the rectangle though.
So we've got more to do a flattening earther. He ain't a flat earther, man, but he's a flattening earther, man.
Well, if you flatten the Earth, then you might have a chance of making the star trails and GPS work. But
I got a model for that, man. That'll be next debate. I got a model for that. Ruhip will love it.
Now you can restart my video, right?
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, no worries. I thought you could start it again on your end. I just wasn't sure if that was not something you wanted on screen. So.
I thought it was Goro.
She's back. Hold on.
No worries. I know all about it. So thanks once again to everybody in our audience. We really appreciate you. And as you can tell, our speakers are apt for it. They're here to answer your questions, and we really appreciate them being here at Modern Day Debate. So yeah, once again, thank you, fellas. Hopefully we'll see you all again. JSS Tiger asks, to the Flat Earthers, if we have an oh man, I'm going to say this bad, isosceles triangle with one angle equal to 96 degrees, what are the other two angles? Please remind me how to say this. It's been years. Come on now, help me out.
Isosceles doesn't narrow it down so much, man. If he said right triangle, I'd say that it couldn't be. You couldn't have an angle of 96 degrees. So the answer is you can't have a 96 degree angle in a right triangle.
In an isosceles triangle, Brian. Come on.
Yeah, but he's asking for the other two. How am I going to give him that without any more information?
Oh, come on, Brian.
Isosceles means freaking. I mean, you're talking about obtuse angle, basically, right?
No. Isosceles triangle. Come on.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's going to be hold on, it's going to be 37 or something like that.
I got 42.
42, yes, 84 and a half. So you just got to subtract. What was the first angle? 96. You got to subtract that from 180 and then divide it by 2. That's
right. You got it right. I'm proud of you.
Oh, great. Yippee.
Why didn't that work?
Everybody's happy with that. Yeah, you want to carry on, everyone?
I think keep on with super chats. I've got to go and
we had a
go shopping and take my son for his first ever driving lesson.
Oh boy, well good luck to you. Try not to get into an accident there. No, wish you best of luck. Deji Moss says, what kind of research? What kind of research do you, Plain Reality, and Brian have done?
Sweet.
This is written very well. What kind of research have you, Plain Reality, and Brian done? And your own results can be found where?
Cut.
Well, mine's all observational. Mine's all observational. Most of mine is all on Twitter. So I've actually been out and filmed the Earth for more than 500 days. So I've actually gone out and looked at what's really going on. This is how I've come to the realization of what's actually happening with the horizon and why it's hiding things. These guys can try to obfuscate from that as much as they want and claim that we need a model and we need to show the exact geometry. But I'm just showing you exactly what's happening.
Okay, so
that's what I'm doing.
Let's carry into the next super chat. Rufus,
wait, I didn't get an answer, man. I didn't get an answer.
Well, I was gonna say, if we are on limited time, I do want to try to move through a couple of them, but just to get a feel, Rufus, how much time do you have here to?
I'm being heckled via text.
Oh, so like you're really being bothered right now. All right, I'm gonna set a 15-minute timer, and I'm gonna try to move through specifically the ones that are aimed towards you, so that you can mosey here and. Give you a chance to do what you need to do. So 15 minutes at the most is what I'll ask from you there. LJ asks, why doesn't Earth spin under a hovering helicopter? If you want to start us off on that one, Ruhiv.
Sure. We have conservation of momentum. So if the ground beneath...
There it goes. So it's a little drastic, but I can go back in and edit it. So this is basically what a fucking fender looks like. Way over exaggerated. But yeah, I learned how to do that.
Beneath you is moving at 1,000 miles an hour, then you take off in your helicopter. You're also moving 1,000 miles per hour eastwards. What he's probably referring to is the Coriolis effect. So let's say you take off at the equator and you get to say 10 miles altitude, 10 miles altitude for the plane or whatever, right? Or the helicopter, sorry. There is a different rotational speed 10 miles up compared to the bottom. But the difference in rotational speed is only, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 miles per hour. Okay.
Where's that energy come from, though?
No, not talking about. We're talking about a theoretical rotational speed.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So theoretically, if I wanted to keep up with that spot on the ground, I would have to move 1 or 2 miles per hour faster to the east. I would have to move the helicopter a little bit. Obviously,
they have carbon fiber printers, and basically they have they have carbon fiber filament, but basically when they make like a pole, they wrap a mandrel. That's sort of like 3D printer. Comes out of like a nozzle kind of thing. I always thought that they should have like a 3D printer that sort of like knits it or crochets the like resin infused fiber, and then right behind that it cures it. So it basically it'd crochet it, and then right behind the crochet needle would be like, it would give it a pulse of ultraviolet light that would harden it, so it wouldn't harden the stuff that's coming out. It would just harden the rest of the thing.
Maintain momentum.
Second.
Why does the helicopter maintain momentum?
That's like a basic law of physics.
Yeah, conservation of momentum.
infinitely?
If it's hovering for 3 hours, why is it staying? Why is it staying there? It's just going to maintain momentum forever.
Forever?
Yeah,
Go ahead,
atmosphere-
Lucas. Let's let Lucas in.
Yes, because the atmosphere moves.
The atmosphere is also
helping.
Yeah, the atmosphere moves with the Earth, and that
So
creates a rotational atmospheric drag that will
Okay,
sort of
can you do me a
move up.
favor?
Huh?
Can you just move your arms? Wave your arms around. Go on, wave your arms. Do
no,
this.
you can do it.
Okay, right.
Jesus.
The atmosphere is stopping me from moving my arms. Are my arms like super glued? So
You do know that you
how-
can't fly,
how
right?
how is the atmosphere actually holding something in place?
Gases are
Are
non-bonded.
you aware? Are you aware of plain reality?
All right,
Are you aware
everybody's
of plain
talking.
reality that?
Go
Are
ahead.
you aware that?
Go ahead, Lucas.
Are you aware that you can't fly with your arms?
But I can move my arms through the atmosphere.
No,
right?
but you can't
There's a
fly
force
with
though,
your
right?
arms.
Well,
Gases are unbonded, guys.
That
Gases
wasn't the way I was
are
expecting this to go.
unbonded.
I was not expecting it
God, this guy's dumb as dog shit.
to go this way. All right,
I
let's
can
get into
jump, I can jump through the atmosphere, right?
Yeah, but it's a
Even if I'm
force.
out of flight.
No, it's Fusion 360. It's basically free. It's limited to how many projects you can save at once, and there may be another limitation. I'm not sure, but I haven't. Yeah, there's limitation without things you can like convert meshes and stuff. But I love it. I mean, it's about the only CAD program I use.
Is not anything to do with the atmosphere. Can I move through the atmosphere without any impedance? Of course I can.
Without any impedance.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
All right, not
And
you
the
say
whole,
no
the whole
impedance?
principle,
not
whole
zero
principle of
impedance,
flight-
of course, but I can move through the atmosphere, right?
Yes, but there is force. You are hitting molecules of air.
Yeah, but air is unbonded even with itself, much less the Earth.
Right.
It's unbonded. There's no molecular
No, only noble gases are unbonded.
bonds with air within its own molecules, much
But
less.
it has mass.
Less moving with the Earth.
Everyone knows
It has mass.
All right, next question.
atmosphere
We
is
got to ask.
apparently glue.
We got to ask the next question. I'm so sorry. LJ asks another
Jesus.
one. Why don't we have? And I do want to stick to ones here that are for the globe side, specifically since Ruhif is on a limited time. So if you do need to take off, just let me know. Why don't
I'll
we?
say 3:15.
No worries. Why don't we have documented and recorded straight path to 48-hour flights without any turns? Why can't we independently explore Antarctica? Ooh, that could get us
Sorry,
into
a
some
48-hour flight?
new territory. Go ahead.
I don't know of any flight that takes 48 hours. The most I know is about 19 hours. The route that a plane takes over the Earth tells you the shape of the Earth. I've done videos of this before as well. What was the other bit?
That was about Antarctica. I can handle that one if you'd like.
Yeah,
Sure thing. And I will let you know, I got a message the other day from one of the debaters that we usually have on Modern Day Debate saying, and I had no idea about this, that this whole final experiment thing is a hoax. So if you wanted to make commentary on that, they want to do a debate on it. I don't know if our audience would be, up for that. But
It's a big topic, Ryan.
It is interesting now that I've come to know what is on the table and what's been presented. I do think it would be interesting to have a conversation on the validity as far as people on the other side, on the flat side might see it, I should say. So because it's definitely being presented from I guess a mainstream view. I'm doing my best.
So,
here. So go ahead there, Ruh, if you wanted to jump in.
So it went from, yes, a 24-hour sun in Antarctica would prove a globe to, oh, it's a hoax.
Oh, no,
yeah,
awesome.
Lucas was going to talk about the.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead there, Lucas.
Awesome.
So the notion that you can't freely explore Antarctica, I don't think in general is true, because you are perfectly. There's two things. You can do it legit, and you can abide by the terms of the treaty. You can get permits to do your own independent expedition across Antarctica. The reality is that the vast majority of people on Earth are not prepared to undertake such a dangerous expedition, and the risk to rescuers to come and get you is extremely high. So you do have to apply for a permit. So
Jarl Andhoy did an expedition.
He did, yes.
Court documents. Jarl Andhoy. They set anchor at Shelter Bay, and they were trying to recreate the not the McMurdo, but the other expedition, trying to recreate it for history and record it. They left two people on the boat. One of them was a brother of a Norwegian experienced sailors, and it came out in court that they, I think it was the Norwegian or Australian Navy, had been closely monitoring them the whole time. As soon as they dropped anchor in Shelter Bay, they made them leave, and they made them pull anchor and leave during a storm. The brother and the other mate died out there. Experienced people wound up. They just said that they died. They're missing. So that these guys are still missing. And Jarl and them went back to try and find them. Anybody look up the court records and the attorney story for Jarl Andhoy if you want to know about what's legal in Antarctica. It's stricter than people think.
Yeah,
I like one thing about Antarctica. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I was going to say.
Sorry,
okay. It costs money to climb Mount Everest as well. Probably the equivalent amount of money, and you need a permit. The end.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to save the guys or find them or put out a rescue, they're too busy trying to press charges on Captain Jarl, and he was the captain of the Berserker, and they did a lot of extreme stuff and everything. So they're about the only example I have. But man, that's a hell of a shitty story that this guy's brother is just dead, and the other guy's just dead. They're dead, and they're just trying
And it has absolutely nothing to do with what you're talking about, Brian.
to find and put Jarl in jail. Why don't y'all spend that effort to try and locate him? Y'all were tracking him the whole time until they threw anchor in Shelter Bay, but all of a sudden you lost track of him when they went out and died. What the F, man? So there could be some more going on. I'm just saying, I don't know for sure, but from that story,
I don't know for sure, but there could be something
Yeah, I mean,
going
the reality
on.
is though that Anvoy did go to Antarctica twice without authorization. He did get in trouble for it after the fact, but nobody stopped him from doing so.
They kicked him out. You didn't hear me, bro. They forced him to pull anchor. The Navy, I think the Australian Navy forced him to pull anchor.
No, they did not.
Yes, they did, dude. It's in the records, bro.
I'm fairly certain that that's not true, Brian.
Okay, so why would they pull anchor from Shelter Bay to go out into the stormy Antarctic seas? Experience.
I know the details of this case.
Know what you heard.
From what I'm aware of, they did a check on the boat, and then they left. There was no demanding them to leave, nor would that.
They were monitored though, right? They were being monitored. They were monitored.
By who? How?
By the Navy. I don't know how. You tell me how.
Let's
I
go-
gotta say,
I don't
how.
know
You know what it
how.
was in the court records where they documented them.
So how are they tracking the boat?
How they know they threw anchor on Shelter Bay if they weren't being monitored?
They did it. There happened to be there are some patrols in the Southern Ocean, and they happen to come across them.
All right, last
And then
thought. Thank you so much, there, Lucas. I'm so sorry to cut you off.
There you
We got
go.
so many questions. I feel that's a great place to just cut her off there. God Almighty himself asks, your best one fact, just one. I'm going to go around the panel here because, like I say, I want to ask the questions to everybody. And I do have one specifically for you, Ruhif, so just stick around for a few seconds after this. Your best one fact that proves the Earth is flat or it is a globe. So let's just stick to one if we can. I know that's very hard because sometimes things tie together, but I'm going to go around the panel from where I see it. So Ruhif, you're first on the floor.
Yep. Measurable curvature. Take a theodolite off a mountain, measure the angle to a distant mountain, calculate what it should be on a globe, calculate what it should be on a flat Earth, matches the globe.
All right, measurable curvature, and we'll move it over to plain reality.
Yep.
Best evidence for the flat model, or best fact that proves the Earth is flat, I should say, as the question.
Yeah, we definitely see too far, and there is no measurable curvature. Riffs, just.
All right, excellent. There's no measurable curvature is plain reality's response there, I guess due to vision. Hopefully that all makes sense, and it was very short and sweet. Did you want to add anything on there? We do have some time probably. But
Well, he's factually wrong.
go ahead there, Brian, if you'd like to add another.
Okay, I'd say we can use very precise equipment, accurate to a millimeter plus or negative over a mile, and we can extend a horizontal line, and it matches water. There's nothing a globe can do to get past that. The horizontal line matches water.
All right, horizontal line.
Battle of the Beams as well. If anyone wants to look that up, Battle of the Beams on Space Audit Channel.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks for
we
the
can go
out
there
there for
another time.
reality, because like I say, I do want to give you as much space here, and yeah, this has been a lot of fun, and I think our audience has had a lot of fun too. But yeah, I'm doing that husband thing, where I'm repeating the last thing you said, and I'm like, yeah, I was paying attention. Go ahead. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding. I do have the live chat here that's keeping me kind of busy too. So yeah, go ahead there, Lucas. Last word. Your best one fact that proves the globe.
The fact that the sun sets, and anyone could visualize that, and that simple fact is so easily explained on a globe model, but you will hear plain reality and Brian go through hours of mental gymnastics and imagined optics to try to explain why in one context you should trust your eyes and in the other you shouldn't. And then I just back up what Ruhif said in terms of demonstrable curvature that anyone can measure.
I got a simple equation for that, dude.
Yeah.
And so it took me
No,
about
you don't,
20
Brian.
seconds to
No,
explain the
just-
sunset.
I'm just
Took me about 20 seconds to explain the sunset, but apparently it takes hours.
Well,
Can you
let's-
model it? Remember, I asked for a model.
I modeled it.
Let's move into this last one here, because like I said, I do want to let Ruhif go within the time frame that I had set there for our audience there, and hopefully that works for you. Ruhif, this is from Aurorian, so $5 Canadian. Oh, Canada. All right, my fellow Canuck asks, ships in a distance disappear bottom up and can completely reappear when zoomed in. That would mean there is no bottom up obstruction. No?
Amen.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. What that person's talking about is you just can't tell because you don't have.
Wait, what?
Within the time frame that I had set there for our audience there, and hopefully that works for you. Ruhif, this is from Aurorian, so $5 Canadian. Oh, Canada. All right, my fellow Canuck asks, ships in a distance disappear bottom up and can completely reappear when zoomed in. That would
No,
mean
they
there
can't.
is no bottom up obstruction.
No, they can't.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
No, they
what
don't.
that person's talking about is you just can't tell because you don't have the resolution whether it has gone over the horizon or not. You need to zoom in to determine that.
That resolution disappears from the bottom up. Okay, eventually, yeah.
No, it doesn't. No, resolution doesn't appear bottom up, dipshit. It doesn't. That's not how resolution works, stupid.
It might hit a point where these delivers, y'all keep saying that this doesn't happen. We showed it a million times. When you zoom out, first you lose color due to your angle. You lose color first at the bottom, then you lose the bottom itself. Okay, and you can zoom in and bring them back. That's what even turned me on to flat Earth and to make me even look into it. That in cartoons of the globe.
Right.
So that's what made me look into it in the first place. Just because something is finally obstructed beyond the point of being able to bring it back doesn't mean that guy is wrong. He's dead right. We've shown this a million times.
And my
If I-
demonstration,
Uh,
the little
no,
sailboat
he's
shows exactly what's
absolutely
going on.
wrong.
They just want to hand wave dismiss it.
Before I zoom in, I can't tell you whether it's being bottom up obstructed or not because I can't tell. I don't have the resolution for it.
Look at the black swan, Ruth.
And once you start zooming in and you stop, as long as you can see it, and then it goes away again, you can't zoom it in. You can't zoom it back in. They don't understand the difference between resolution, optical resolution, and geometrical curvature.
If you can't see the bottom of the
They don't fucking know the difference. They're fucking morons.
oil rig legs until you zoom in. It's plain.
I can't resolve them, Brian.
So they're missing then, right?
No, they're not. I can't tell you whether they are or
The
not.
fact
I
you know
can't
that
resolve them.
they're there, so you know that they're there, so your brain sees them. Bro, if your eyes can't see them, then they're missing.
And again, this is another thing that Brian's been educated on.
No.
Do whatever you want.
Someone.
So he's lying and being intellectually dishonest.
Was it you that said that correctly described Rayleigh's criterion? It merges into one.
You're right.
Doesn't
Yeah,
disappear.
you're right.
Right, but we don't
Doesn't
believe in
disappear.
curve. If we don't believe in curvature, then it's Rayleigh criteria doing it in the first place, right? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I mean, you guys can't keep it straight on what it is. It's sometimes it's perspective, sometimes it's refraction, sometimes it's the Rayleigh criterion, somehow it's a mix, but these are different effects. It's like you got to pick.
I think I've been pretty clear and 100% the way that I've described it every single time. I'm not
Can I have one minute?
juggling
I'm
between either.
going to jump in here because we do have just one more question, and then I want to give.
And then I rage quit.
No, don't do your rage quit. I was going to say we don't have to do a crazy walkout, right? You know, with our swag and everything we can do. Honestly, I do appreciate you hanging out and answering the rest of these questions. I'm going to pause the timer right there. I'm just going to read one of these ones that were just a fly by night. Mary Harrison says, Brian says I'm not trying to be an asshole. He's doing a great job without trying. To all flurfers, a little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing. So Mary Harrison's not a fan, I guess, Brian.
I'm friends with all these guys, though, man. Just so y'all know, I'm friends with everybody on the panel.
Yeah, no, we really appreciate you, Brian. You seem like a very friendly fella, and I look forward to hosting you again. This has been great. So last actual question beyond just kind of laughing at people that are trying to troll, but we do appreciate all of the super chats, and we are going to answer some more questions after Ruhith leaves. But we are going to ask this one here. Moving away, this is from Larry Scott. Moving away from the tower, the vertical angle decreases 22 arc seconds per mile more than perspective, including negative vertical angle.
Yep. That's basically what I was trying to get across with the measuring the height of the tree example. If we just stick to right angle triangles over a flat plane and compare that to reality, it doesn't match. It drops visually by about 6.5 inches per mile squared, which Larry's saying is 22 arc seconds per mile. Fine. Yeah, that's Larry Scott. He's a professional surveyor.
Yeah, we agree with Larry. Optically, as far as just the pure mathematics, you can measure that out, and I think there needs to be something else happening, and that's what we've been demonstrating the whole entire debate is that something else. And no problem, it's not a whole big list of things. It is a few things that I could pin you down, ask you questions. You're gonna have to answer the same way, bud. Trust me, I'm not doing that.
Can I give a closing and then?
Larry, man.
For sure. I do want to give you a closing statement. So let everybody know where they can find you if they've enjoyed your arguments. Hopefully, we've already got you tagged
I'm going to go ahead and close out after Ruhif's closing statement.
in our description. If not, send that to me via email, and I'll get that updated before the end of the debate if it's not in there.
Yeah, Ruhif at YouTube. I hang out a lot in Discord, but my username is Ruhifnol on Discord. Love chatting to flat earthers.
Ruhifnol.
Some ways there. Closing statement. My thesis of Flurfs wouldn't know curvature for bitten on the dick, I think, was borne out. I mean, when I said I can go and measure curvature, and then Plane Reality instantly responds going, no measurable curvature. Yet when I asked him in that email that I sent 4 days ago, what would this curvature look like, I didn't get an answer as expected.
He showed you a model, though, didn't he?
I would love to see Heath Carmody's model. Yes, and that's
give it a look, man.
All right, this is a closing, so I'm so sorry.
sorry.
We won't do rebuttals during a closing.
Yeah, I would love to see Heath Carmody's model.
If you want to let everybody know where they, well, not just where they can find you, but also maybe some other topics you may be interested in debating in the future, just so we can get a feel for your character there.
Creationist genetics is my other topic. So yeah, if you've heard of Jeffrey Tompkins from ICR and want to debate any of his work, happily do that. That'll do me. Hello to Nephilim Free in the chat as well. Haven't seen him for years. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Plane Reality. Thank you, Lucas.
It's a pleasure. Well, thank you so much, and good luck with the driving training. Yeah, no, it'll be great. It'll be great. You seem like you'll be able to be you're a positive person. So good luck to you. Cheers, buddy.
I'd love to hear that one, man. I'd love to hear Ruhif speaking non-mathematically, man. He's a precision type of guy, man, with math. We're trying to show him other stuff, but I'd love to hear him debate something like that.
Well, I will say as well, just before we move into the rest of our super chats, my apologies, Lucas, that you'll be responsible for holding down the floor, I suppose, for your side going forward. I mean, we didn't really confirm that was going to be okay, but I can't help you out here. I don't have a horse in this race. You know how it is. So the next question says, and I will let everybody know, we're going back now. We're going to read all the super chats. So if you're like, Ryan, you didn't read my super chat, we're going back now, everybody. We're going back. Esteban Ilbaka says, Plane Reality. There's some typos. Ever thought about trying to avoid mirages and distortion, remove the horizon as a variable? Everything drops from eye level, even targets at equal elevation. How does this happen on a flat Earth?
It's a reduction of the distance. So we don't need the horizon to actually get the drop. But you will just get that same drop over distance. It's just an optical drop. It's got nothing to do with the Earth curvature. The thing is that what has happened is they've basically just done what's the word for it again? Reverse
Obfuscation,
engineering.
begging the question.
Well, yeah, it's reverse engineering, right? So obviously we see things drop in the distance, and what have they done? They've just reverse engineered it into a globe. That's all that's happened. All the measurements, everything
No, dumb fuck.
they're doing, it's all just
I mean, that's straight out of Nathan Oakley.
reverse engineering. All these measurements have been supplied for people, and what's going to happen? It's just pure reverse engineering.
I applaud their model, man. I applaud their model and the work they put in, but I'm just trying to explain to them it's just a model. It's not proof. To try and use that model as proof of the world, you know, that's where the fallacy comes into play.
Did you have
The model is a measurement of the world, dude. That's what it is.
any
So what the fuck, man? They don't even know what a fucking model is, but they think they can fucking debate this shit. I'm done. I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. I can't fucking watch any more of this shit. They are just so goddamn fucking ignorant. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. We'll talk to you later. Click like, subscribe. Saw a new person earlier. If you're still here, click subscribe, please. Share the show. Drop some cash in the PayPal link. And until next time, thanks for watching. Be seeing you.